going on? What is going on? What's going on? Come on into the live. Come on into the live. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Let me know where you are checking in from. Tonight's topic: the $1,000,000 box truck illusion. Let me just post this on what is that app called? Instagram real quick. And then I'm gonna jump right into it. I'm not going to waste any time tonight. I'm working on cutting my lives down. Because I'm tired of people making fun of me. I seen Axel making fun of me over on Kirk's channel. And some other people were making fun of me. So we're going to cut these lives down. And I want to cut them down too, man. I'll be having to get up. Sometimes I'll be having to be up at 4. Sometimes 5. So I gotta cut them down anyway. But sometimes it just get caught up in the moment, talking to people, people having questions, and just caught up in the mix. All right, so what we got? We got Joe Gonzalez in the building as always. Great Polo STL in the building. Interstate Screw Detroit in the building. Marcus Young. We got Kirk in the building. New York in the building. Let me know you guys are checking in. Do your roll call. Represent where you are from. Represent where you from. Let me know where you are checking in from. Represent where you from. All right, so we're going to get into it. I started my mentorship today, guys. Today was the first day of my mentorship, the free mentorship that I gave out about 3 weeks ago. I think I gave it about 3 weeks ago. Axel contributes to you being on here long sometimes. Yeah, he does. Axel does contribute to me being on. Can't you turn your volume up 2 clicks? Hold on, man. I wasn't that close to the mic. Is it louder now? Is it louder now? I can turn it up, but hold on. I was away from the mic. When I was updating this Instagram. You should be able to hear me now better. But I did my mentorship today. Today was the first day, the free mentorship that I gave away to 15 people. And it's like I expected, only half the people showed up. So just another testament, and I ain't ragging on the people that didn't show up. But there was a turn up, please. Oh, I'm good now? All right, I'm good. What time was the mentorship? I thought it was at 8. I sent everybody the notification at 1. I sent everybody the notification via Instagram, via Facebook. So the same way I notified the people that won, it's the same way I sent the RSVP. So, I sent it to everybody via their social media. So started at 10 o'clock. It was on Zoom. The Zoom information was there. The link was there. The registration was there. Out of 15 people, 7 people showed up. And 1 came to promote their business and got mad and left early. So that person don't count. So it was only 6 people there. Urban and Ball was there. He was on time. So 6 out of 15 people showed up. So those are 6 people that's going to roll, I guess, the following 3 weeks. And it was good. You know what I'm saying? It was good. I just wish that, it was a lot of people that hit me up that wanted access to it that I denied because I gave it. I said I can only do 15. And really originally it was only 10. You know what I'm saying? I went up to 15 because a lot of people was asking that day and I was feeling kind of bad. And now I still feel kind of bad because there was people that have been hitting my DM every other day asking, man, how can they get in? People offering me money. I can show you the DMs and me saying, no, I don't do it for money. It's for free. Maybe you catch me on the next time. It is what it is. I'm only taking 15. I'm not gonna waver and break my morals or ethics, you know what I'm saying, to take some money just to let an extra person in. It was people offering me some bread. Didn't take it. So now that's some spots that some people could have took, unfortunately. So the people who just missed it by mistake, I'm not ragging on you. If you missed it by mistake, you were confused, you just gotta wait to the next one. But what I did get from The what we did this morning was, I thought it was really really dope to work with people in a small, intimate, enclosed, just a small uh uh um um just environment, enclosed environment. And remember I said, depending on how this one went would determine if I would do it again. And I could tell you, just after the first one, I'm definitely going to do it again. It's probably not going to be, I'm not going to roll it out like a mentorship. I'm just going to roll it out as like a not like, I don't want to say a focus group, but more like I gotta think of the right terminology, because even though I was in there and I did my presentation for the first hour, and it's only an hour thing, I ended up spending like 2 hours and 15 minutes in there, because we were just talking. I was answering questions. People were chiming in and giving information to other people. So it was just a networking. It turned into a mentorship the first hour, to a networking thing the second hour. And we talked about some things that are related to box trucking, like some cool technology stuff that I'm not even going to talk about on the live. Certain things I kind of want to keep for the people that are in that, you know what I'm saying, to make it kind of exclusive. But I'm going to build out a community, because my website, I have the space and I have the capacity on my website to build out a community. And that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm not going to take anything to Facebook, because I don't have to. I spend a lot of money on my website, hundreds of dollars a month, and one of the features that I have is I can actually build out forums, and I can build out a community if I like. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build out a community. And what I'm planning on doing, I'm planning on doing like small little groups, and on maybe like a 4 week type period, where we're just going to talk about things in trucking, box trucking, cargo vans. We're going to network, share ideas and things of that nature, so that the community can continue to grow from each other, from one another. It doesn't necessarily have to be me or any other of your content creators that you guys look up to. There's information that I learned from other people. You know what I'm saying? Somebody asked me a question. It wasn't a subscriber. It wasn't anybody on YouTube, or someone that I know personally that said, "Man, Mark, you give a lot of information away for free. You give a lot of information away for free. Actually, I think you're doing too much." And I said, "Man, I don't think I'm doing too much." I said, "I think I know people come to me for advice and come to me for my knowledge, but I learned stuff from people too. Just having conversations with people." There was a question that was asked earlier while we were in that session this morning, and a guy was in Florida, and he said, "I'm in a predominantly Hispanic dominated city, and I'm having a hard time finding work for my cargo van." And he asked me how would he maneuver that, and I was going to answer the question, but I wanted to be politically correct, because there was Hispanic people in that actual mentorship session. And while I was gathering my thoughts to answer the question, in a politically correct way, one of the people that was there kind of jumped in. He probably saw that I was, preparing myself to answer, and he answered that tough question for me. You see what I'm saying? He saw that I was gathering, my thoughts to answer it politically correct, and he answered it for me. And he answered it in really the way I would have wanted to answer it, but I couldn't answer it. And he took that pressure off of me and answered the question for me. And I appreciated that. So just cool things like that's what I consider working together. And I think this community really needs it. And like I said before, a lot of stuff happened in the past 2 years, and I do have some sense of sympathy for a lot of people that unfortunately didn't make it in this industry. I wanted to use a bigger word, I just couldn't think of the right one to use. That couldn't that didn't make it in this industry, that had a short lifespan in their box trucking or cargo van journey. But the people that are still hanging around, I'm trying to do my best to save you guys um, from succumbing to your fate of not making it or whatever. Succumb, right? So how do you get mad at something that's free? I don't think people were mad. Um, I don't think people were mad. I just think people just didn't show up, and it's all good. I'm not upset. I'm saddened because other people wanted to get in. So I don't know if you're asking me, am I mad or were they mad? I'm not mad. I'm more upset because there was a bunch of people that wanted access to that I said was full, and I wishing, just sitting there with 6 people, I wish that I could have put more people in because there was plenty of people that wanted access to that. So I was really hoping for a full room, but it wasn't. So I got to roll. We're gonna roll with the 6 people for the next 3 weeks, and then when I open it back up, maybe in March or maybe in April, um, I'm probably gonna roll it out a little bit different, and that way I probably do a little bit more. I'll do a little bit more not due diligence, but I'll vet a little bit better than the way I rolled it out this time because it was a surprise, it was spur of the moment. It was what was that day? New Year's Day. And I think a lot of people that I don't want to say they just didn't show. I just think a lot of people might have got confused or didn't see it. But it is what it is. I wanted in on that room. Great polo, yeah. See, a lot of people wanted in on that, but and it was a dope conversation. I did my presentation. We had a dope conversation. We talked about some cool stuff, man. Some cool stuff that I really want to talk about in these lives. But man, I'm gonna keep it, man. I gotta keep some stuff for the private community, and I want to keep that community exclusive for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep that community exclusive for a reason. I want it to have some type of exclusivity, and I'm not taking it to Facebook. I heard about them Facebook groups. I've never looked at none of them, but I got a platform where I can build a community that I spend a lot of money on every month. And at one of the things that I can do on there is build a community. I could do forums, so I'm going to actually utilize my own platform, my own domain, and build it on my own network because I don't need to build something on someone else's network because I want to own it. I want to own what I build. All right. So that's what we're going to do as far as that. So I'm definitely going to continue to do something like that again. So guys that missed the first one, just be on the lookout for the next one after this 4 weeks expire on February 12th. February 12th is the last day. My birthday is at the end of February, and I think I'm going to jump out of the country for my birthday. I'm thinking about it, so I probably won't start nothing up until March or April. All right, so be on the lookout for that. I hope you all roll it out with a fee. Some folks don't appreciate free. That's a something that I go back and forth with. And I know a lot of people don't do free, but I if I do something, it's gonna have a price on it or it's gonna be free. I understand that a lot of people just don't getting into this space now is pricey. It's not like how it was when I entered into the space a long time ago. So it's pricey. But I'm trying to be like the Robin Hood for this box trucking thing. If I can take from the rich and give to the, I don't want to call people poor, but let's say people who are I don't even say less fortunate, but maybe not have the money to give or pay for it, then that's what I want to do. So there's a lot of people that are hitting me up, and I don't talk about it. Bigger companies that want me to do things for them like brand ambassadorship and stuff, and a lot of them I've turned down. You guys don't see me marketing anybody on my channel. All right, but I've got a lot of deals that have been offered to me. I've turned them down. um, I'm not gonna work with anyone unless they can bring me something that I can bring to you guys as far as helping you guys along your journey. So if it's like, I don't care about affiliate percentages and what is that, kickbacks and all that stuff. Like that don't really, I don't care about that stuff. So if it's not a deal where I can't actually, there's no incentives that I can't pass forward to you, then it just doesn't make sense for me to do it. So if I can keep things free and keep things rolling, I'm just gonna do that. But yeah, I get you. You know, some people, you know, it is what it is. But I already know you already give away so much free game. But I want them, I want them strategies. Yeah, just stay tuned for the next one. Stay tuned for the next one. Stay tuned for the next one. You doing philanthropy pretty much. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? This space gave me so much, you know what I'm saying? And I got the extra time now. Well, really, I don't. You know what I'm saying? I picked up two new projects. Two new projects I can't even talk. Like, there's a lot of things that I'm working on right now that I can't even really talk about because it's too premature. And I always was always told, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing because people will pray. You got some haters out there, man. They'll pray on your downfall and you tell them your business. You know, if something fall through, they wishing and hoping and praying. So it's two projects that I'm working on right now. One of them is a pretty big project, and as it unfolds or as I push forward into it, and I'll probably start talking about it a little more. But right now, it's just too premature, and that's taking up a lot of my time. That's why I haven't been able to put a lot of videos out um recently because I've just been doing a lot of research and the stuff that I'm working on right now is not like stuff that I can build on my own, you know what I'm saying? This the type of stuff that I got to present to angel investors and venture capitalists. This is some heavy duty stuff, so it's taking up a lot of my time as far as research is concerned. But you know, if once it starts, you know, once I start pushing it to the next level and things start to, I can, you know, see some sunlight, then maybe I'll share some of it with the channel. So what time are you do it? I missed it and was waiting till 8 p.m. 10 a.m. was the start time. So if you got the registration link, it said it 10 a.m. You know, everybody was there at 10 a.m. Some people that was there at 9 a.m. I can't do nothing at it's 8 p.m. when I came on live. You know, I do my lives on Sunday night at 8. That was done. That private room this morning was done at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and the RSVP from Zoom stated that. I went back and looked at it 2 or 3 times myself. It was people that were there this morning an hour early that was DMing me and messaging me that they were there early. So it was at 10 a.m. You know what I'm saying? So the only reason I can't, you know, somebody hit me and said they had to work and all this stuff about 10 hours later, about 6 o'clock this evening. I get it, but at the end of the day, this week was the first week. So everything that I talked about this week kind of goes into what I'm talking about next week. So to come in next week, you know what I'm saying? Because you missed the first week, you're gonna miss everything that I talked about last week, and you kind of need the stuff that I talked about today to kind of understand what I'm going into next week. You know, a lot of people how they run their mentorships and stuff. That's how they run theirs. But with mine, it's set up a certain way. I'm talking about one thing. The next week, I'm talking about something else. I didn't start my mentorship with what everybody else starts there with the getting your LLC. That's not how I start, man, because that's not the first thing that I feel like a person should do, structuring their business. That's not the first thing people should do. So my class this morning was on something totally different. And the people that was there. And in the second hour, we just talked about cool, dope shit that's in the trucking space that a lot of people don't know about. You know what I'm saying? So I got something coming up probably in March again. Just stay tuned. I'm not going to promote it. I'm just going to announce it. I'm going to do a little bit of vetting prior. There's going to be some people I'm seeing like that I see here every week, and I'm going to offer it to them if they want to come in. I can have up to 100 people. You know what I'm saying? But I want to keep it. I want to keep it small so I can control it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of times when I be on live, it might be a live where I might have 70, 80, 90. I've had some lives where I had close to 200 people. And then I'm talking, and I go back and I read through the questions early, and then those people are not in the room no more. So with a smaller setting, I can communicate and have access to people in a smaller controlled environment, and they can have access to me without having to sit through a 2-hour lecture, and then they got to go to work because they got to be up at 12 to go run a load or whatever. And then by the time I get to their question, they already up out of here. So just stay tuned. I'm sorry that you missed it, but I got you on the next one in March. You at the top of my list in March. Just remind me and don't forget. Let us take some of their spots. Can't do it. I was on time for the meeting. All right, so man, let me get into this $1 million box truck. I think the length quality of your videos balances out the volume of videos you push. Well, I think my lives be too long, but I think I get caught up in the mix a lot of the times. And with the Q&A, and I try to answer everybody's questions, and I try to engage with whatever people want to talk about. And I don't want to be like the guy that gets on here that like, listen, this is what I got to talk about, and I'm done talking now. I'll see you guys the next week, So whatever questions people got, and then you know what I'm saying, the room be revolving, it be recycling, it be people coming in, it be people coming out, people coming in and people coming out. So I'll see the room go up to 80 people, 100 people, then come down to 50, then it'll go down to 30, and then it'll go back up. Now I got a whole another 60 new people in here that are fresh in here that got a bunch of questions. So now I'm catering to those people who weren't here for the first hour. But I got to control that because I can't be on here 4 and 5 hours, No matter how much I want to be, I got to cut these lives down because it's just not enough hours in the day. After I get off this live tonight, I got stuff I got to do before I even go to bed. And I got to be back up at 3:30, 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning because I got some stuff I got to do. So it is what it is. Shout out to Alexis. Alexis was one of the people that was there this morning. It's the Walk, King Market fan. What up? Been listening. I'm driving now. Hey, it's the walk. It's the walk. I gotta get you on here to tell that story. He did the opposite of what I told him. I ain't gonna let you lay that down until I get you on here to talk about it. All right. So let me get into this real quick. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, just like the pastor tell you on Sundays when you go to church. Say he ain't gonna be that long. I ain't gonna be that long today. I just want to talk about this topic that I've actually had in my notepad to do a live about for a few weeks now. And I didn't even have it planned, scheduled to talk about today, but there was a young gentleman that came into my live chat on Thursday, and one of the questions he had was, man, what does it take to make $1 million in a semi truck? All right, so, and this is a topic, so that triggered me because it was a topic that I always wanted to talk about, that I already had written down to talk about, and I say I'll just push it up to today because I think that's an issue in this whole community. There's actually an issue just in business in general. This $1 million, I want to focus on box trucks and cargo vans, so I'm calling this the $1 million box truck cargo van illusion. And that's basically what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's basically what it is. It's a marketing tool that people use to get you to buy into whatever it is they're selling. All right, whether it's a good, whether it's a service, or whether it's to just buy into them as a person and get you to listen to whatever it is they have to say. They may not even be selling you nothing. And I want to talk about that real quick. I'm not gonna hold you guys that long. I actually did a video when I first started my YouTube journey, when I was trying to figure out my path, let's say to speak, on YouTube to gain attention and gather an audience so that I can, pass along the message that I'm passing along now. And I did a video saying how I made $1 million and with box trucks doing final mile. Yeah, so yeah, I grossed $1 million, no big deal. Whoop-de-doo. I did it 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and 8 years ago. All right. So I'm guilty of using that $1 million headline, title, and video as well. But there's people that use that number in an unethical way. All right. They use it to get you into buying what it is they're selling. Because here's the thing: when you look at content, right, and it says, "Let me show you how to make $1 million," or I'm going to show you how I did $1 million and then buy into this, and then you can do it too. Let your viewers or you or both leave timestamp. It makes recapping information easier. You think about it, and people can review your content a lot easier. All right, so people buy into that. So check it out. Now, if a person puts up that same video, let's say, let me show you how to make $1 million doing Amazon with a box truck. Now, if they title that video the same way and they take the $1 million out and it says, let me show you how to make money with Amazon Relay, or let me show you how I made money with Amazon Relay. 90% of the people that clicked on let me show you how to make $1 million with Amazon Relay are not going to click on that other video. They're not going to click on that other video. They're not going to do it. All right. So I think the brain is triggered that when you see $1 million, no matter what it is, you're going to click on it. All right. Now, so I've talked about this before, scattered in different lives and in different videos, but let me just do this live real quick and just put all of this in one little piece of content together so people can see it at a later date, and if they want to come back and watch it later, they can. Making $1 million, all right? 2 ways you can do it. You can gross $1 million, you can net $1 million. Another reason why it's an illusion is because 95% of the people who get into this space ain't gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. They're not even gonna net. They're not gonna net $1 million. They're not gonna gross $1 million. And I'm just keeping it funky. And it's not hate. It's not being negative. It's not being pessimistic. Look how many people exited in the first year, in the first 6 months. All right, in the first year and a half. All right, so to gross $1 million in any lane, I don't care if you're whatever you're doing with your box truck. You're doing final mile. You're doing moving. You're doing OTR middle mile. You're doing Amazon Relay. You got a cargo van. It's going to be even harder with a cargo van, right? Because your price points, your dollar amount, the work that you're doing, you're getting less money for it, right? It's going to be even harder. All right. Whatever you're doing to gross $1 million, you got to work extremely hard for it. So let me do a quick mock on how to make $1 million. We're going to go through every lane, and I hope maybe you guys can write this down or whatever you want to do. Let's do it. First, we're going to start with final mile. I said it before. The easiest way to make the easiest way you can make $1 million, and we're talking gross. Net, man, 90% of people are not going to even gross $1 million. So we don't even have to talk about net. So let's talk about gross. 4 to 5 trucks, $250,000 a truck, running 5 to 6 weeks, running 5 to 6 days strong on a heavy contract, a heavy, big, and bulky contract. When I say heavy, big, and bulky, I'm talking about your Lowe's. I'm talking about Home Depot. I'm talking about Best Buy, maybe IKEA. IKEA, you're going to have to run 7 days. All right, you have to run 7 days for IKEA. So I'm talking about heavy, and some furniture contracts. All right, so but we're going to stick with Lowe's. We're going to stick with Home Depot. We're going to stick with Best Buy on a 6-day a week contract, grossing $5,000 a week. Now, there's your $250,000 a year per truck. Now, what is it going to take to make that $250,000? All right, it's going to take 6 days a week, right? It's going to take somewhere between, depending on your market, maybe 10 to 15 stops, right? Some markets can do more depending on what you're running for the day and what they can fit on the truck. I'm telling you, here in this market, your truck can be full, and then they'll ratchet strap a stop to the back of the truck. I'm talking about close the back of the 26-footer, close the door on the back of the 26-footer, and if it's a couch, just one couch going to a stop, they'll close the door, and they'll ratchet strap. It got the plastic on it, ratchet strap to the back of the door, and then that's a stop. All right, so you're going to be running about 10 to 15 stops, maybe more depending on the market and what you're running that day. 6 days a week. It's going to be 2 guys. Some routes may require 3, depending on how heavy and how hard your routes is. You're running 6 days a week. All right, now this is 6 days a week, right? 4 weeks out of the month, 52 weeks out of the year, consistently, and that's one truck. Now you got to times that times 4, right? So that means you got to have 8 guys, which really you got to have about 12 to 15, because here's what's going to happen. All right, and this is why I'm telling you it's hard to do. And this is why it's an illusion, because not a lot of people are going to do it, but people put this $1 million up here to sell you into buy into whatever they're selling, where's their mentorship, where's their courses, where's their ebooks or whatever. The $1 million thing, whenever you see $1 million, it's a marketing tool. It's a marketing tool. It's a marketing tool. So to run final mile, you're going to need all of this. Eventually someone's going to get hurt. Your truck is going to break down. I had a guy fall through some stairs one time. All right. Things are going to happen. So you have to keep this stuff going consistently, day in, day out. And not to mention, it's very, very, very labor intensive work. 6 days a week. But this is what it takes to make $1 million. You got to do that 4 to 5 times, which means 4 to 5 trucks. That's how you gross $1 million in box trucking. All right. And the reason why I say it, once again, it's an illusion. All right. Because it's going to take a very ambitious, hardworking, dedicated person to be able to pull that off. Because not if that person is on the truck, he has to manage his truck that he's running and manage the 3 to 4 other trucks that are out there running simultaneously while he's running the truck that he's on. All right. And if he's not on this truck, if he's to the point where he's graduated and he's off the truck, he has to manage those 4 or 5 trucks. And every day, and you're talking to a guy who did it successfully, you're worried about someone getting injured and someone getting something getting damaged, property getting damaged, merchandise getting damaged, and claims is a whole nother ball game. Claims is a whole nother ball game. All right. So it's possible. All right. It's realistic. It can realistically happen because I've done it. Right. But this is what it's going to take. And 95% of the people that enter into this space will never see $1 million. They'll never see it. They'll never see it gross because they're not going to work. And I'm not saying in 1 year. I'm talking from a 1 year point, a 1 year perspective. 95% ain't going to see it collectively in 1 year. I say about 75% ain't going to make it to see it collectively over a span of 3, 4, 5 years combined. So if a person is working, let's say they got their one truck and they making $200,000 to $250,000, they're not gonna make it 4 years to see $1 million. $250,000 a year, 255, 750, $1 million. They're not gonna make it. They're not gonna make it. All right. They're not gonna make it. All right. And that's just the harsh reality of that particular lane and grossing $1 million because it is a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work. And here's another reason why I'm telling you they're not going to make it, because when November hit and all those rates was getting screwed up and people was complaining like damn near finna fail or did eventually fail. It's January now. You saw a lot of people exit. And when I was telling them, man, look, going Indeed, all these final mile companies are hiring. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. You got a box truck. You got your tool. Go get the money. The money is right there. Not everything is slow. Not everything is not paying. Here's an opportunity for go make $4,000 or $5,000 a week. You're gonna have to work a little bit harder. People rather just fold. So there's your answer. All right, there's your answer. Amazon. You know, and I'm not the type of person. I don't be hating on Amazon. I just keep it funky. You know what I'm saying? I just keep it funky. To make $1 million in Amazon and people renting box trucks, you might as well just go open up a lemonade stand, man. It just no. Especially you guys that are renting box trucks. You're renting a box truck to make $1 million running Amazon Relay. It's gonna take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of mental work. All right. You're going to have a dedicated team that's going to be there every single day. You're going to have to run a multitude of trucks. All right. At least 7 to 8 trucks. All right. To make $1 million from the numbers that I see. Now I know it's people that are going to negate that, but I seen the numbers. And with running that relay, right, with what they're paying, in order to keep people in those seats running that so that you can gross that $1 million, your turnover rate is too high. Let's just keep it funky. It's an illusion. And people will sell you on that illusion. They'll sell you on that illusion of $1 million. People don't buy it. They don't do their due diligence. They buy into the illusion of $1 million. Take that $1 million out of anything. Take that $1 million out of anything you see. 90% of the people not going to click on it when you take $1 million out of it. People click because they see $1 million. That's why people click. They get hypnotized by that $1 million print. That dollar sign, that one, that comma, those 3 zeros, another comma, those 3 zeros. That's what get people to click. That's what gains people's interest. That's what gets people to go out and spend their money without doing their due diligence. The hopes of making $1 million. But in all honesty, it can be done, but it's unrealistic for most people because most people are not going to put in the effort to make $1 million. All right. Moving, even easier to make it, less equipment, right? It's easier as far as equipment because it's less equipment, but guess what? You're doing a lot more work. You're doing a lot more work. A lot more work. How many people are willing to put the work in to make $1 million with a moving company? Not many. You know why? Because a lot of people not willing to do it from a final mile perspective. A lot of people not willing to do it from a curbside final mile perspective. I said, yo, here's how you can make money without having to lift anything. There's something that's called curbside final mile. And only a handful of people actually really inquired with me about it. And the few people that did inquire, they actually went out and did it. And they said, you know what, man, this is better than what I was doing. I'm making the same money. Making the same money. I'm spending less. And I'm home every night. You know, so it is what it is. Let me talk about real quick, because I said I'm gonna keep it quick. I got my notes here. Somebody said I get too much info out. Somebody said that I give too much info out. And I don't think I give too much info out. I think the info that I give out, I think I don't give out enough info. And the reason why I don't think I give out enough info is because I just don't have enough time to give out more info. If you think I give out too much info, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat, man, because I don't know, man. Somebody told me I give out too much info and I spend too much time giving out too much info and people don't appreciate it. If you think I give out too much info, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. Somebody put a 0. Somebody put a 0. All right, well, I guess that answers that, man. You know, so that's kind of been, you know, I don't want to say it's been bothering me, but it's just been plaguing my mind, because it was told to me earlier today or maybe last night or something like that, and I'm just like, damn, you think so? Because this is somebody that I know, and I hope people appreciate the time that I'm and effort that I put in. And that earlier, I ain't gonna cap, like, it upset me, not because the people didn't show up. It upset me because there's a bunch of people that wanted to get into that space, and I wish I could have let more people in. And now I gotta go 3 more weeks, and I got these 8 spots that I could have filled up, and that shit was bothering me this morning. That shit was bothering me this morning. I'm not even finna hold you. I think people don't appreciate it. Perfect X that likes the viewer ratio. So, man, you know, it is what it is. It's still bothering me now because, man, people now know that it was spots taken. They're like, damn, I wanted that spot. So, you know, that's all I wanted to talk about tonight. And I'm gonna do a Q&A. I just wanted to talk about, don't let that $1 million number that you see when you be watching these videos, don't let that gas you up. Don't let that $1 million get you into doing things that in other situations you potentially wouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you can make $1 million, but I think people need to focus on realistic goals. Come into this space, you know, just figure out how to be profitable first. All right, if you coming into this space with the hopes of making $1 million, then your goals is wrong. All right, those are goals that you should be looking down the line at. I think initially you should come into this space, and I think your main goal should be learning how to just be profitable. all right, to just be profitable. If you can profit, you can run on a 10% margin in the space is high. If you can figure out how to make 15% or 20%, all right, of what you gross, and you can keep 20% of it, I think those are more realistic goals coming into this space than putting pressure. And even this is for a person that comes in that doesn't fall victim to that $1 million illusion. You come in doing your due diligence with the hopes of one day making $1 million. That's fine, but I think trying to push yourself to do that the first year, I think that's ridiculous. I think you should come in with a percentage-based goal and say, you know what, my goal is I want to try to keep 20% of whatever I gross. Whatever I gross, I think I want to take 20%. I think that's a more realistic goal that a person can attain. And then once you reach that goal and you set that goal and set that standard for your first year, I think the next year you should create a tier base. Okay, I did 20% this year, and that's kind of high for this industry. So I don't want to put an unrealistic percentage on myself with 25 or 30% because I own my truck, I'm not renting. So I'm pretty much kind of maxed out as far as overhead. I know my insurance is going to go down the older the truck gets. And if my driving record stays clean over the course of the relationship I have with this particular insurance company. So what I want to do now is I want to increase my earnings. So maybe I need to start growing my business, and now is the time for me to go get another truck so I can increase my revenue like that way. And then you just do stepping stones like this. When I grossed my first $1 million in 2014, I didn't know I grossed $1 million. I knew it, but I didn't know it. You know what I'm saying? Until my accountant congratulated me when it was time to file my corporate taxes. You know why? Because I knew I was making a lot of money. I seen it coming in every day, right? But guess what? I was too busy to realize I had crossed that threshold that everybody wants, but I never had that. That was never a goal. My goal was always to build my business. What got me off was trucks. I just wanted to buy more trucks. I thought coming to the yard, seeing trucks all over the place was the coolest thing, because to all my friends and everybody I came up with, they used to just always be amazed when they came to the warehouse and seen all them damn trucks. So it wasn't the money for me. I was getting off on just buying more trucks. And the damn trucks were so cheap back then. All right. So, and then when I did it, I didn't even realize I did it. I knew 90 grand was coming in every month. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't take the time to really add it up. Why? Because shit was going. I was too busy. Money was coming in. Money was going out. Trucks was coming in. Trucks was going out. That's when you know what I'm saying? That's the way you want to get to $1 million. You want to focus on building your business. Focus on building your business. Set a percentage of what you want to keep from what you want to gross. Focus on grossing more. Focus on grossing more money. Focus on finding more avenues for your business to make money. And then that $1 million is going to come. I'm telling you, that $1 million is going to come. You're going to look up and you ain't going to even realize you crossed that threshold. You're going to look up and you're going to realize you're not going to even realize you crossed that threshold. Now, I'm going to keep it funky with you In today's times, it's going to be slightly harder than when I first did it. And one of the main reasons is what's going to make it a little bit harder is because in order to do it, you got to do it at scale. And scaling is a little bit more difficult now than when I was able to accomplish it the first year I accomplished it in 2014. Scaling is very difficult now because scaling requires one key component that everybody is struggling with now, and that's bodies. All right. Keeping bodies in those seats to move those trucks is going to be the hardest part. You can have the capital in order to purchase the equipment, but keeping bodies in those seats to move that equipment is what's making it hard for the accomplished business person who does have the right mindset, who does understand numbers, who does know how to grow and scale his business. The biggest challenge right now is keeping bodies. Retention retention is the hardest part of growing a business right now. All right, so if you are in one of those markets where you have a network of people that are unemployed, that you can market your business to come run for you, because you're not competing against a multitude of other owner operators that are in the space. You're not in a market where you're competing against large corporate Fortune 500 companies that are in your space now, that are allowing people to be their own operators and utilizing technology and gigs so that people can come in and not have to work for the small independent owner operator, because it's the small independent owner operator that's trying to scale, that's having an issue. The larger trucking companies, they have this same issue as well, but the reason why they're able to kind of maneuver through some of the issues that the small independent owner operator that's trying to scale his business and grow his fleet and put drivers in, is they have deeper pockets, so they can offer things like benefits that the small independent owner operator that's trying to scale and grow his fleet can't. They can offer things like sign-on bonuses. All right, and we're not talking about the 2,500 like from 10 years ago. We're talking about the 10,000. All right, they're giving $2,500 a quarter. All right, you can't compete. So that's another reason why this $1 million marketing tool that a lot of people use, I look at it as an illusion, because what they're not going to tell you is what I'm telling you now. They're going to say, oh, let me show you how. And I'm not taking anything away from any individual, and I'm not even speaking on any individuals in particular. I'm just speaking on the marketing tool that people use to promote you into buying whatever it is they're pushing. All right, so what they don't tell you is how hard. All right, a lot of people probably haven't done it. They're just selling you on it. And the people that have done it, like I said again, they're pushing you to buy into whatever they sold. So they're using that $1 million as a tool to get you to come in to buy whatever it is they're selling. But I want to be the person to tell you that it is possible, but the work that it's going to take in today's times, what I was able to do in 2014 through 2018, I wouldn't be able to do it now. I'm a realist. I'm always keep it real with you. I'm going to keep it funky. There's no way I would be able to pull what I pulled then now. It's impossible, for the main reason that I just said. I had people that worked for me for 7, 8, 9 years. All right. And I had no competition. The technology wasn't advanced to the point where it is now. If you had a cousin that was getting out of jail, I told you come see Mark, because they couldn't go nowhere else. Where else could they go? No one else was going to hire a felon fresh out the joint. Man, you got a cousin. My cousin just got out the joint. Tell him to come see me. Tell him to come see me. If you was fresh out the joint and you needed a job, you could come see Mark, and Mark was going to put you in a truck. That's why Mark never had no issues making money. And that's why I could keep buying trucks, because every other week, a person was getting out the joint. See, excuse me, I didn't mean to say that. Y'all ain't got me comfortable talking to y'all. I'm talking to y'all like, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me, I didn't mean to say that. I did not mean to say that. Every other week, somebody was getting out of the joint. And I told him to come see Mark. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. All right, so that was my secret to success. I never told y'all that. I'm telling y'all that now. Man, I messed up. I ain't never used that word on live, man. See, y'all ain't got me comfortable talking, man. See, I can't, you know what I'm saying? So, man, that was my secret to success as far as how I was able to scale so quick and how I was able to find people. All right. It ain't going to happen in today's times. Why? Because in today's time, a person a person getting out the joint, not not what I said a few seconds ago. They got other opportunities now, and it's just a lot more things they can do that are less labor intensive that they can make money. And I know a lot of these places say that, oh, well, they don't take felons like Uber and things like that. But let me tell you, when there's a will, there's a way, man. It's been plenty of times I've taken Uber rides, and this is when I was taking regular Uber X. I take Uber Black for the most part now, or I'll take a Uber Green. So I'll take Uber Green, and I'll take a Uber Black. But like when I was taking like Uber X's, you know what I'm saying? It'll be one person's face, but then somebody else will be driving, and you'll be like, wait a minute, hold on. Well, it could be, but maybe it's not. Or you'll order Uber Eats. Now they notorious for this on Uber Eats. You order your food, and then it'll say Tanisha gonna deliver your food. You see Tanisha, and you be like, okay, all right, well, Tanisha gonna deliver my food. And I go downstairs. My building no longer lets the condo association fine you if you get a delivery to your door, because during COVID, man, and this is why a lot of people that was coming in the building delivering food and taking a package out the mailroom on their way out the door. So now you got to meet people downstairs in the lobby. So you'll look and you'll see Tanisha delivering your food, but then some dude will pull up, hopping out with his pants hanging all the way off his behind, and his locks ain't look like they've been did in 10 months, and you mom, all right, man, here go your Portillo's or whatever, and then he giving your food, and you like, damn, I thought Tanisha was looking good, man. I was gonna shoot my shot at Tanisha, but it's this dude. So and 9 times out of 10, buddy just got out the joint, and he can't sign up for Uber Eats himself, so his baby mama signed up for him, and then the restaurant ain't really tripping, you know what I'm saying? And then what you gonna say when you just want your food? So you gonna be like, no, you not Tanisha, so take my food back and go find Tanisha and tell Tanisha to bring my food. You ain't gonna say that because you hungry. So it is what it is. So you're not gonna be able to do it. You're not gonna be able to do it now. So it is what it is, guys. Don't let that $1 million fool you. It'd definitely be harder to do it now. I did $600K with 3 trucks middle mile, but my overhead is probably $450 to $500K. Exactly. When I did $1 million, I did a little over $1 million, right? And it cost me $800,000. You know what I'm saying? I spent $800 to make $1 million. And that's just the nature of the business. You know what I'm saying? The margins in this industry are very, 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 very low. You know what I'm saying? So even for me to do 20%, I had to bust my behind to do that 20%. There was a lot of things that I did to save money, and all that little money added up. When I would send a truck in for PM, air filters, I didn't pay the 20% fee for the air filters. I ordered my own air filters and put them in myself. Certain things that I can do myself, I would do. When my warehouse was on 7 acres of land. You know what I'm saying? Imagine what it cost to plow it when we had a snowstorm, that blizzard we had in 2015. All right, I did it myself with a Bobcat. It took me a day and a half because I didn't want to pay thousands of dollars for a plow truck company to come in, because it would have took 3 or 4 plows, and it would cost me thousands of dollars. So I did it myself with a Bobcat. It took me a day and a half. I had to push the snow, move the snow, stack the snow. All right, in the summertime, cutting the grass, I was paying a landscaping company to cut the grass. Man, I had to go get the landscaping equipment. Was just cheaper for me to go get the landscaping equipment and just have a hype cut the grass. It was just cheaper. I'm keeping it funky with you. I ain't finna hold you. I ain't finna sit up here and lie to you. So a lot of things I had to do to cut costs just to increase my my revenue. You know what I'm saying? I cut corners wherever I could. You know what I'm saying? To save as much money as I could. All right. Plus, I got an office staff. You know what I'm saying? I got to pay my brother's operations, right? I got a U-Haul dealership there with 25 U-Haul trucks. Somebody got to man that. And I'm only making 15% commission. All right. Off of that. But guess what? Somebody got to rent those trucks out because we were the biggest non-corporate dealer on my side of town. Why? You all dumped all these trucks and trailers off on my spot because I had the space. I had more space than the actual corporate U-Haul facility. So the area field manager, Tony, he would just dump all the trucks on me. We're making 15%, which is not much, but that 15% commission that we were making, that pretty much just covered the payroll for whoever I had running it. And that was fine because it allowed me to provide another job for someone in the neighborhood. So I really wasn't tripping, but you know, as wherever I could save money, I could, you know what I'm saying? So I get you on this 600,000 with 3 trucks running middle mile, but your overhead was 500, right? So you made 600,000 and you only took home 100. It is what it is. And see, that's what a lot of people don't, you know, they don't tell. You know why I think people don't tell people that? It's because they really don't know because they never done it. And see, that's another way I can tell. See, to the person entering into the space that sees these titles, when they watch these videos or when they see these people on Instagram, when they see these people on Facebook, when they see these people on YouTube and they put these titles, $1 million, blah, 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 they don't tell. The reason why they don't tell these people is because they don't know themselves, because they really never done it. I know you did it. I know you did it, Gino, because I know what the margins are. I know what it takes. I know how much it cost. I know how much it costs. So I know you did it. I know it's no cap in what you're saying. You know, so Pippi out here catching bodies, facts. That being said, is it better to hire people and buy trucks outright or contract owner operators? Hold on, did you write a pre-question before that? Because you said that being said. I don't know what I said when you put this up with that being said. So what was I talking about? That being said, is it better to hire people and buy the trucks outright or contract owner operator? Without knowing what I was talking about at this particular time, I can tell you this much. Buying trucks outright in today's times is probably going to be a lot better than it was when I was getting started, because rental trucks right now are just extremely too high. So if you're looking to build a business or scale a business where you're not going to be on the actual truck yourself, you got to keep your overhead down. And if you're paying $1,500 and upwards on a box truck rental, I don't care what lane you're running. You could be running middle mile, you could be running final mile. If you're paying $1,500 for a box truck rental or higher, all right, or somewhere around that ballpark a week, it's going to be hard for you to profit. All right, it's going to be hard for you to profit. I don't care what you're doing. I just know the numbers. You know what I'm saying? I know the numbers. I know what the spot market rates are right now and the opportunities with middle mile, and I know what it takes, and I know the numbers for final mile. And $1,500 a week, and what you got to pay a driver and a helper to run a final mile route, right, in today's times, at today's cost of living, all right, and with what the logistics companies are offering as far as running these this lane, that $1,500 is just you're not gonna make it. That's eating really, really deep into your margin. Really, really deep into your margin. Like those days of hiring a driver and a helper and paying them $125 and $100 to the helper, those days is over. Like I tell people all the time, you know, in order for you to find somebody and keep somebody, especially running final mile, that driver got to be at $250 easy. If you expect him to, because see, here's the thing, the driver doesn't get a break. The driver doesn't get a break. He's lifting, he's carrying, and he's driving. All right. The helper can go to sleep between stop 1 to stop 2, stop 3. If stop 3 was hard and heavy and he's out of breath, when they get back, he's just waiting to get this refrigerator in and get it hooked up so he can get back on the truck and hit the cooler and drink some water and go to sleep, because the next stop is 20-25 minutes away. The driver don't get that break. The driver doesn't get that break. All right. That's why it's important when you're running final mile that you find a driver and you pay them, and you pay them handsomely. It's easy to find a helper. It's easy to find a helper. It's hard to find a driver. Driver don't get a break. So you got to pay that driver somewhere between $200 to $300 a day. Easy. And if you're paying $1,500 for a box truck rental, you're not going to be able to afford to pay that person that much to retain them. If you own your truck outright, then yeah, you can do that. You're running off if you can work off a 20 to 30% margin a day running final mile, then you're doing exceptionally well. You know what I'm saying? 50%. If you own your truck, 50% of your gross. So let's say if you're running on $1,000, right, somewhere around 40 to 50% should go to payroll. And this is if you own your truck. If you own your truck, all right, you got to make sure. Here's the thing. If you're running on a 6-day contract a week, the thing is that truck needs to run 6 days. All right. I don't want to have to wake up and worry. And I've never had to wake up and worry if so-and-so was going to come to work and it was not going to be that. And if they had a discrepancy, it wasn't going to never be about money. All right. It was never going to be about money. All right. You have to look at the long-term aspect. You want that truck to roll every day. You don't want any hiccups. You don't want somebody holding out coming to work because they want more money. You want your driver to be paid. You want your driver to be happy. You want that truck rolling. All right. If you running on $1,000 a day contract for, let's say, UST running loads, right? If you're walking away with somewhere between $150 to $250, and if your truck is really paid for and your insurance is low, and you know your truck getting good MPG, you got one of those drivers who ain't too heavy on the pedal, and he's just an older seasoned guy, and he's just a really good driver that gets good MPG because of his driving pattern, his driving behavior, and you able to squeeze out 30%, then cool. But you should be looking at somewhere between 15 to 25% realistically. So if you're walking away on $1,000 gross day with about $150 to $250, you're doing really good. I think a lot of people, they want to shoot for the stars, and it's just not realistic. $500 a day running a final mile route is just not realistic. It's not realistic. Now, what can make it realistic is if you put yourself on that truck. Now, if you put yourself on that truck and you X out the driver and you're running one truck, then yeah, now you're only responsible for a helper. Boom, you can pay your helper a little bit more because now you're on the truck. So now I'm going to ensure my helper's coming. If I'm on the truck and I got a route making $1,000 a day, right? Boom, and it's me. Boom, I'm gonna pay my helper $200. All right, he gonna get $200, and if we got 10 to 13 stops, saying he gonna make another $100, $150 in tips. So he walking away with $300, $350, some days $400. He's happy. He's happy. You see what I'm saying? I'm walking away with $600, $700. I'm on the truck too. I'm getting them same $150 tips. So I'm walking away with $900, $1,000 a day. And that's how you do it. That's how you do it. All right. But if you're not on the truck, then you really got to pay your guys handsomely. And that's how you keep them. We have guys getting up to $400 a day at times on tips, and that's including tips. Tough to find drivers these days. Yeah, so I talked about that a minute ago, and that's why I said it's an illusion. It's some other things that make this whole $1 million thing to me an illusion. But I didn't want to touch on too much because I said I'm trying to keep these lives down to at least 2 hours. So I can't really touch on a lot of different things, but that's why I'm doing these private, it's not even a focus group. It's more like a private, whatever groups that I'm doing on my own platform and Zoom, where a lot of the stuff that I don't go into depth in on these lives, we can talk about in these private enclosed sessions. But yeah, drivers is a tough thing. I think going forward is going to just continue to be tough. It's going to be hard sourcing drivers. I haven't did a live on it. I thought about doing a live on it, but I don't know if I wanted to center a whole live just solely around just people's mindset and the way people look at employment and work nowadays. People don't look at employment the way they looked at it 10 years ago. Everybody has we're in a culture that's this boss culture. Everybody wants to be their own boss, and I don't, there's nothing wrong with free enterprise. I mean, it's America. So if a person has wants to create their own business and start their own business, be their own boss, and go on this entrepreneurial journey, then who am I to say nah? Because I'm an entrepreneur too, and I'd rather you work for me. Nah, that would just be thinking selfish. But what a smart entrepreneur does is they understand what's going on and then they transition or they pivot. I'm just the type of person where I was once the person that who thought things were going to be the same forever. I've told people this a bunch of times, but I'm not that person anymore. I didn't have a person like me to talk to. My mother wasn't an entrepreneur. She was a school teacher. My father, he wasn't a pitcher after I was 8, 9 years old when my parents went through a divorce. All right. None of my homies were entrepreneurs. They were in the street. They were street entrepreneurs. So I didn't have nobody to go talk to as far as that had a business acumen that I can bounce things off. So that's where a lot of my frustration came in when I was a growing entrepreneur. But now, because I consider myself seasoned, I understand that things aren't going to stay the same forever, and I understand that the mark that was in business in the 2010s, the early 2010s, and the way I was able to operate, right, and scale and grow, I know that that particular era of just the way the employment sector is, it doesn't exist anymore. You know what I'm saying? A person would rather sit at home broke, right, than go work for somebody else and get income in because they want to be their own boss. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a little, well, I guess there's a little something wrong with that. But, I can't get mad at people wanting to be their own boss and we're in this quote unquote boss and ownership culture. I just have to do what I have to see what's going on, and then I have to transition and move forward, just like I promote everybody else to do. Finding drivers is, I think that's going to be an issue that's going to continue to just plague this space now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be their own boss, and people have the resources to go out and create these opportunities for themselves. And technology has also made it a lot easier for people to do these things as well. If you need a driver and you're paying 200 plus, go to any FedEx ground facility and advertise that. How do you handle the insurance though? 1099 W2, Mar, I need a session, homie, about an hour at a time. All right, so that I've always mixed it up. I've always mixed it up. I've always been blessed to have a CPA to kind of give me, advice on maneuvering that particular space. At my peak, I had drivers that were on 1099, and then I had people that I had on W2s. So with the W2s, you're paying the unemployment tax, you're paying the medical, you're paying Social Security, you're paying all that stuff. All right, you gotta pay all that stuff. So depending on how many people you have, would determine if you need to finesse anything. And when I say finesse, I'm not saying do anything illegal. I'm just saying, not even manipulate the system. I would just advise you to get a CPA if you're running a multitude of people. If you're talking about a couple people, 2-3 people, then I would just do things the right way. And then if you're talking about, well, I guess you said W2 employees, so you do got people. So yeah, man, me and you might have to talk on a one-on-one tip, and then I can give you some of the sauce that I got. No tips included. We still only average 90 days on these guys. So your guys making 400 a day, no tips. That's good. I do a lot of babysitting. Sometimes I feel like I'm on the truck. Well, the thing is, when you're dealing with guys, because you're in final mile, when you're dealing with final mile guys, there's a lot of testosterone, and eventually, guys gonna get into it. I'll tell you a quick story. I had and I'm not gonna say who, because one of these guys is, again, he's not affiliated with me, but he's affiliated with somebody that I'm very close to, that I hired because of this particular young lady. So I'm gonna say about that. But it was a situation on one of my moving trucks. This had to be about 2017, and testosterone kicks in when you got guys that are grown men. And like I said earlier, a lot of the guys I had were felons, fresh out the joint. These guys are institutionalized. So when they're on the truck, no one really is bowing down to nobody. They gonna listen to me. All right. But on the truck, if a person sees one way of doing things and the other person doesn't see it that way, there's no compromise. All right. So there was a situation one day where these guys were on the truck arguing on the way to the move. They got on the move. They were arguing. Now, I don't know this. This is all information that I'm finding out after the fact. They're arguing on the move. The move is over. Instead of them going to the second move, they're arguing. And it's a 3-man crew. So the two guys that are arguing, one is the driver. There's a middle seat, and then the other guy was arguing was on the passenger seat. So they're arguing across the person who was in the middle seat, and then ultimately a phone call was made. Now I know this guy, right? I told you how I know him, all right? So I'm in the office and I see two guys coming down the driveway where the trucks come in and pull into the yard. I'm like, what are y'all doing here? So then I see one of my trucks fly through the yard. All right, so this guy, they got into it to the point where this guy called people up to the yard to get busy on this dude. Certain terminology I'm not going to use. So I'm coming out. I see these dudes coming up that don't work for me, but I know who they are. I see him hop out. He's pointing. The dude he done called the people on he's the driver. He's driving the truck. So he pulls all the way into the yard, makes a U-turn in the yard, and he flies out of the yard. He's not going to get out the truck because they came up to the yard to put in work on him. So I go out. I'm telling him, like, man, why y'all bring this up here? Why you didn't call me? I could have squashed all this over the phone. Y'all arguing over some goofy stuff. Like, yo, I'm running a business. I'm running a business, man. I'm running a business. Don't call nobody up here. Don't call nobody to put no work in, because whatever happens on my place of business is going to be on me. It's going to be on me. So ultimately this dude was scared to get out the truck. He ended up abandoning the truck about 3 to 4 blocks over, called the office, said, Mark, the truck is on, I forget where it was, like 90th and Crandon or something. It's about 3-4 blocks down from the yard. And we ended up going down there and getting the truck. But he also had this particular customer, for whatever reason, didn't want to pay for the move in credit, and they had cash. And at that time, I wasn't accepting cash, but if a person's saying they don't have a credit card and they had cash, I had to take what they had. So this guy acted like he left the money on the truck. Nobody knew where the money was. Come to find out, he took the money. That was his last day. I guess he felt like, well, man, this dude plugged in with Mark. They gonna end up catching me and beating my ass eventually. So I'm finna take this as a severance package. So he took the money, and I never seen him again. But the moral of that story is, Pippi, is, when you're dealing with guys that are running final mile and lifting furniture every day, and these guys, I don't know how your guys are, but a lot of these guys that do this type of work have backgrounds. This is the type of stuff you're going to deal with. It's going to be a lot of babysitting and a lot of problem resolving issues, because none of these dudes, all these dudes that lift furniture, that got backgrounds, they all think they the toughest. They don't listen to nobody. The only person they gonna listen to It's whoever's cutting that check. And that's where the issue comes in at, that I've always seen with moving and final mile. Now I've had guys in the past were just those guys. So no matter who I put them on the truck with, people fell in line because some of these guys is just some of them guys. They just them dudes, you know what I'm saying? But if it's a route where you got 3 guys and all of them just feel like they just him, you know what I'm saying, then you're gonna have these issues. I've had them all the time. I could sit here and tell stories all the time about goofball babysitting grown ass men. Institutionalized, like, bro, we are not on the yard. Man, let me explain something to you. It is what it is. All right. You know, I've dealt with a lot of people that just come straight out the joint. I'm the one who hired them. They be stuck. You know what I'm saying? They be, you know, person do 7-8 years, man. They it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It ain't we ain't on the yard, but it is what it is, man. That's just the term. That's the word. They institutionalized. Sad, but that goes for all businesses. It goes for all businesses, yeah. But this is why a lot of places don't hire felons, man, because they don't want to deal with that, because they don't know how to deal with it. All right, they don't know how to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So ran off on the plug. Definitely ran off on the plug. It was cool though. You know, I seen the dude like a year later, man, riding a bike down the street. So, you know, I hope that whatever it was, I can't remember, I hope it helped him, but clearly it didn't, because he was riding a bike to work when he worked for me, and then when I drove past him a year later, I seen him, he was still riding a bike. You know what I'm saying? He was still riding a bike, so it is what it is. Shoot me your email. Just hit me on the DM. You got a Instagram or Facebook? There go my DM at the my Instagram at the top and my Facebook. Just hit me on one of them. Or you can email me mark at thementormark.com. Mark at thementormark.com. Karma got his ass. No, Karma didn't get him. He was already riding a bike when he came to work for me. See, one of the guys had referred him when he first got out the joint. All right, so one of the guys that have been working for me for like 4 or 5 years at that time, it's like, man, one of the guys just got out the joint, man, put him on. I said, all right, man, tell him to come see me. All right, he came up there, he was institutionalized. There was a lot of, you know, he thought I was the warden up in that joint. You know what I'm saying? He thought I was the warden, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, he came, he did everything I told him to do. But what I noticed about this particular guy is, if someone else that, you know, when he was going through his training phase, and the guys that have been working for me for years that just know how to maneuver furniture and things like that, he would always have some pushback. And I would have to say, well, no, they telling you right, that's the proper way to do it. All right, boss. It was always, all right, boss. It wasn't never Mark, it was boss. And he was institutionalized. So it is what it is. I'm just keeping it funky with you. That's why you get the disgruntled FedEx driver who been screened and got a decent license, just getting underpaid. Most drivers average 125 to 175. I can tell a FedEx driver story. Everything. That's why when I read it at first, I read it and I kept going. When I was doing Office Depot, I had a FedEx driver come work for me. All right. He was complaining about whoever he was running his FedEx route, whatever the contractor was that he was running through. He was mad at him for a period of time. He came and worked for me. I thought it was the best thing in the world, because here I am, Mark, right? Mark. And, you know, at that point, when I got that guy, this is like during my heyday. This is during my peak. So I'm thinking I'm doing something, peeling away FedEx drivers. But he was disgruntled from whatever the contractor was at the time. And when I'm telling you, when this FedEx driver came and he worked for me, and I put him on Office Depot, and I'm in a market where our Office Depot routes are heavy. All right. So I had the city public school. So all my routes were heavy. When I tell you this guy, a route that my guys would take all day and all night to do, They'd be at the yard at 5 a.m. They wouldn't pull back up to 7, 8 at night. This guy was able to do 60, 70, 80 stops and be back to the yard. He'd get to the warehouse, load his truck up, and be done with 60, 70 stops by 11, 12 noon. I said, oh man, this guy's cold. You know what I'm saying? But FedEx guys, they used to doing 175 stops. So this wasn't nothing to him, right? But the issue that I ran into with him was because he was a FedEx guy and he was used to doing a plethora of stops, coming to do this work for me, it was just a piece of cake, but he was using me as leverage, I guess, for his FedEx contractor boss to get more money. And that's the thing. These guys that run FedEx, man, they're not going to leave FedEx. They just have too much benefits. They'll use a guy that has something else going on. They'll come work for you. You know what I'm saying? But eventually that FedEx contractor is going to come on his hands and knees begging for this guy to come back, these guys to come back. Because what these FedEx guys and these UPS guys do, I'm going to keep it funky with you. It's a skill. You see these Amazon guys, they stick all those stops on them and they can't get them done. Go on the Reddit for Amazon DSP and read the Reddit. Forget the Facebook groups. I've never looked at a Facebook group for box trucking or none of that. Go on Reddit. Go on Reddit and read the stories and look at the screenshots of these DSP guys. They can't complete these. They have what's called recovery. Most of the time, these trucks, these routes have to have another truck come recover and help them. What the FedEx guys do and what the UPS guys do is skill. To do that, those amount of stops in a reasonable time is skill. Like, man, I could try to peel a FedEx driver away, but 9 times out of 10, they're not going to leave because a small owner operator is not going to be able to offer what a FedEx contractor can offer these guys with the aid and assistance of FedEx. I used to have a FedEx ground fleet with my dad, and let me tell you, holding those drivers was hard. Holding them was hard? Shoot, man. FedEx is hard work, especially now with them wanting you to run your truck 7 days a week. And to pay a driver 7 days a week to jump those boxes and Wayfair furniture. Yeah, I heard FedEx was getting into Wayfair furniture. Now, to me, I don't understand why FedEx. I heard it, but I wanted to research, but I never got around to researching. But now you're saying, so I guess it is true. I don't understand why FedEx would contract with Wayfair. I've done Wayfair cross dock through nonstop delivery, and I'm a final mile company, so it's really no big thing. But FedEx is one guy on a truck, so I don't know. Are they doing all things big and bulky through FedEx through Wayfair, or are they just doing But here's the thing with Wayfair: 50% of the stuff that people order on Wayfair gets returned. I swear to God, you guys gotta watch. Those that didn't watch my live I did about a month ago on cross docking, where I showed my warehouse. I showed like the orders and things like that, like Wayfair and some of the freight that was coming in when I was doing nonstop delivery, cross docking. 50% of the stuff we delivered for Wayfair got returned. I just don't understand how Wayfair makes money. I really don't understand how they make money. We was doing 150 to 200 stops a day. Right. See, FedEx and UPS is a different ball game. A lot of people that run like DSP, they can't do that many stops and get them done. That's why they have to send recovery trucks to come help these guys and bail them out. You don't see recovery trucks. You rarely see a recovery truck go to recover a UPS guy or a FedEx guy. And if you do see a recovery truck, and when you're seeing recovery is when you see a UPS truck or a FedEx truck and they're back to back and they're walking stuff from one truck to another truck. Normally when you see that with a FedEx or a UPS is because the truck broke down. So they got to send a recovery truck. You know what I'm saying? You see that every day and all day with DSP because those guys just ain't cut like the FedEx guys are cut. But I take my hat off to FedEx guy. I'm telling you, that guy Hector, that was the name. That was his name. When that dude came over for that little couple months, he came over for me. I'm telling you, like man, I ain't never seen nobody get that many stops done as fast as he got them done. I'm like, when he first came, I swear, I said, man, is this dude dumping these packages somewhere? I never got a call from Dynamics and said this guy's route people didn't get their package. I don't know, like I just don't know. These FedEx and UPS guys, they cold. They cold. I take my hat off to them. I don't think it matters who you get. We have ran the gamut of guys, and it just doesn't work. Nobody will handle your business like you do. I totally agree with you on that. Nobody will handle your business um, like you do. Um, but I think when you're in final mile and when you're in moving, you understand the type of applicant that you're gonna get that's gonna come and do this type of work. Once I understood the applicant, I knew how to manage my business better dealing with the people who I was dealing with. All right. I knew that I didn't have time to babysit. So I hired a babysitter. I hired an enforcer. So I hired someone to enforce the law, and I titled him as a fleet manager. And he did fleet management work. He, ran the trucks to get them serviced and things like that. But he was a street dude that was revered, that I put on the payroll. So when you're dealing with um, guys like this, that ain't gonna listen to each other. They'll listen to you, and you just don't have time to babysit. You got to hire a babysitter, and that's what I realized I had to do. And once I hired a babysitter to babysit, it allowed me to focus on my business. I understand, Pippi, you're not running really at scale like how I was at that time, so you probably don't have the resources for a babysitter. But I'm telling you this, so that your mindset kind of understands why these guys are like that. If these guys could do anything else, they would be doing everything else. You know what I'm saying? Most of the guys, and I'm just keeping it funky. I'm keeping it funky. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If these guys could do anything else, they would be doing everything else. A lot of people don't have opportunities, aren't awarded or afforded to certain people from certain backgrounds. So, they don't have the mentality to understand that this is a business, and we need to carry ourselves uh, a certain way and act a certain way. So I trust me, I know exactly what you're going through, but you just have to keep in mind of the type of applicant that you're dealing with in the field that you're in. Now that we are in box trucks, this is a breeze. You like box? Well, I guess box trucks compared to FedEx, I guess as far as it's probably easier because you're dealing with a lot less pieces than you were dealing with when you were dealing with FedEx. That's true. I took my load back to the warehouse. You took your load back to the warehouse. Can you speak on UPS service partners? I can't speak on UPS service partners because I'm not knowledgeable on it. But what I'll do is I'll look into it for you and speak from what I've researched. But as far as UPS service partners, I have nothing, no knowledge of it. I know it exists. I know what the objective of it is. I think you can do it in your personal car, but I was under the impression that was something that was only seasonal for the holidays. But I'll look into it though. Did it for 15 years, 5 trucks and one straight truck running. That's what's up. They been here at Wayfair after they lost Amazon. They didn't lose Amazon. They got rid of Amazon. They got rid of Amazon. But yeah, I didn't know they were running Wayfair. Like I said, I came across it in like some readings or something or in an article, but I never really looked into it. But Wayfair, I'm surprised FedEx picked that up. Jerome Bray, what's going on? Anything to 150 pounds. Hmm. Well, that's got to be very challenging for a lot of FedEx people, because I know like a lot of those women ain't gonna be capable. I remember I ordered, no, my ex ordered a rug, a big area rug from one of these online places, and it was a female FedEx driver. And we missed the delivery one day, and then the day when she came, she rang the doorbell and she was like, "Man, I drug this thing all the way from the truck. I can't carry it. I wasn't going to carry it, and y'all wasn't going to hear it. Can you come help me?" And it was heavy. You know what I'm saying? It was very heavy. So I don't understand why FedEx is picking up this big and bulky stuff for one man. A lot of this stuff requires two people to carry. Dude, the insurance for a cargo van is crazy. I'm paying 37,000 a year for OTR. Anybody has a gimmick. I don't well, first, I don't know why you're paying 37,000 for a cargo van. So I don't know. I don't know. And then as far as a gimmick, I don't know what you're referring to. You might have been late to the party. But $37,000 for a cargo van, I can tell you one thing. I bet you got progressive, and if you got progressive, it's something else that you're not saying. It's something on your background as far as your driving record. It's something going on, because even with progressive for a cargo van, that's extremely high, uh, and so it's something you're not telling. You know what I'm saying? 1,000% or 1,000,000 % we were dropping them off and picking them back up the next week. Yeah, I know about Wayfair. I ran Wayfair for some years, and we got paid on Wayfair twice. We'd do a drop off, and then a week later we was picking it back up. So I don't really understand how they're a $1 billion company. Um, I don't get Wayfair, but they are. UPS route are set up in loops. Nope, not even close to your scale. 37,000 is crazy. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with his insurance. Some ain't adding up on that. Some ain't adding up on that. Question mark. Realistically, if you want an 18-wheeler game, what's the amount you need to start? I'm not into 18-wheelers, so that's something you might want to talk to Kirk about. But what I can tell you is, if you do jump into the 18-wheelers, right now a box truck, I think in starting a box truck in today's times, you want to have about a 25 thou wow. So I would say realistically, just, and this is just off of just me knowing the box truck space, probably double that. You know what I'm saying? I know semi trucks are going for a lot more than they were pre-pandemic. I know some people that were been in the semi truck space for a while. I know an older gentleman who basically lives in his truck on the yard. All right, at the warehouse, because he actually owned it prior to my commercial landlord buying it, and he just stays on the land in his truck. I know in 2017 his old truck blew up on him, and he went in and purchased another truck with like 600,000 miles. And this is like 2017, and he bought that truck for 29-30 thousand. All right, so trucks are a lot more expensive now. Um, so you're probably looking for a decent used truck, probably about 50-60 thousand on the semi truck side, and then with everything else you need to get up and going, plus having a little nest egg, you probably want to have, I guess, 40-50 thousand. But you might want to talk to Kirk about that, because I really don't keep up with those numbers like that. I can just give you information based off the friends that I know that have jumped into the space in the last 10 years, and compare and contrast of what it cost to get in prior to the pandemic versus now. But for actual numbers, you might want to talk to Kirk. I ran Amazon Flex. It's how you organize your packages and stops. I could get 4.5 hour route done in 3 hours. I heard when you run Amazon Flex that if you do get done early, the app makes you reroute back to the facility. I got a homie that runs it part time after work. He says, man, they try to make you reroute back if you get done early. Wait, I just did the math on that. 3K a month insurance in a cargo van. That's insane. Uh, where is this guy that said he had that? Is he still in here? Hold on. Where is that guy? I don't even see that. I don't even see that. I don't even see that comment no more. Oh yeah, here it is. Rod 37. Rod, where is he at? Yeah, it is. Insurance for 1 meal is insane, bro. $37,000. What type of van is this? Wait, is it for one van or two vans? Dude, the insurance for a cargo van is crazy. I'm paying $37 a year for OTR. Anybody has? So you paying for two vans? I'm assuming you got Progressive, right? What is the insurance company you would suggest? I wouldn't suggest any insurance company. What I suggest is you get a commercial broker and let them shop you. I don't suggest any insurance company because some insurance companies may be cheaper for you in your market or my market, let's say, than they would be for you in your market. You know, it all depends on the parameters that your broker is going to put in for you. You know, so my advice for anybody that usually asks me about insurance is to hire a broker. Hire a commercial insurance broker. They work for you. They get their money through the insurance company. They don't get it through you. You know what I'm saying? Let them work for you. All right. They're going to shop your company on the market and they're going to see what comes back and then they're going to present you with the best deals. You don't have to use the same insurance company for everything. I've always said this. I got 3 different insurance companies. 3. You know what I'm saying? Because the broker works for me. He works for me. You don't have to use Progressive. You don't have to use Progressive for everything. You don't have to use the next company for everything. You can have Mercury for your your auto insurance. You can have Acuity for your general liability. You can have National Fire and National Fire and Liability for your cargo. You could have Grange for your commercial auto. You can have different insurance companies for different things. So that's where your broker comes in. That he's going to shop you on the market, see what comes back, and then he's going to present you with the best deals to save you money. He's going to find you something that you wouldn't be able to find for yourself doing Google searches online. That's why you need to get a broker. Drop that link for Dewalt. All right, bet. He won't come on. All right, there you go. Let me get back up here. Where'd I leave off at? I just dropped it. Is he coming up? I have 2 accidents, no points, and my quote for a 16-foot box truck was $9,700 for a year with $1,500 down. Well, D Jenkins saying his quote for 2 16-foot box trucks with 2 accidents is $9,700. So that's what I'm saying, Rod. Something you're not telling me. I've been doing this long enough to know that 37,000 for, I don't know, 1 or 2 cargo vans. You know, I don't have to, I've been doing this long enough to know that's something you're not telling me or you're not telling us. So that's just no. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. Some you not some information you holding out. You have Byberk. That's the insurance company owned by Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett owns that insurance company. Where did I leave off at? DeWalk, you coming up or what? Where'd I leave off at? For 2 vans, which insurance company? Mark dropped that link. A local insurance broker. Yeah, DeWalt, come on up, man. Everybody want to hear this story, man, about this van that you did the complete opposite of what was told for you to do. So come on up. I had 2 accidents. I read that. I used to sell furniture for Bob's Discount Furniture. Wayfair doesn't do brick and mortar, which saves hella money. Plus their markup is crazy. I know their markup is crazy, and you're right. They don't do brick and mortar, but still, like, and when I say this, I say it without exaggeration. 50% or more of the stuff that came through my warehouse for Wayfair through nonstop delivery, 50% of it got returned the following week. All right, now I know why. You're ordering furniture online. Some of the stuff I heard, well, it looked bigger online, or it looked smaller online, or it looked like a darker shade of gray online than it actually looked when we got it. So there's a multitude of reasons when people order furniture online why they return it and don't keep it, because it's not like you're physically going into Walter E. Smith or Ashley Furniture where you can sit on it, you can feel how soft and how plush it is, you can actually measure it. Instead of going off the specs online, you can actually see the shade of it, you could feel it, you could touch it, things of that nature. So I get that, but what I'm trying to figure out is the business model, how they're able to be profitable with selling the furniture and then having the furniture returned. Because looking at it from a business aspect, the reverse logistics on it costs pretty much just as much as the forward logistics. So to have a 3PL to go pick it up, we go pick it up, right? We get paid for that. We bring it back to the warehouse, all right? Wayfair wasn't the type of company where they said, you know what, when you get it back to your warehouse, discard it. They wanted the stuff shipped back for whatever reason. I don't know if they have an open box um, spot on their website where they sell things open box that have been delivered and returned that are still in good use, and they can sell open box. Most of the stuff that we went and picked up that did reverse logistics for Wayfair, we had to prep at the warehouse for a middle mile carrier to come pick up from my warehouse and take it back to wherever Wayfair's warehouse was at, wherever it was at. I can't remember. So, speak from a business uh, aspect, I'm just trying to figure out how they're making money still. How they're making money. I know their markup has got to be about, I've dealt with Wayfair furniture. The quality is bad. It's not good quality. But still, even on let's say a 400% markup, right? 400% markup with the reverse logistics adding in, are they still making money? I just it just was always a mystery to me that I always said I was going to look into, and I just never got around to doing it. I have Byberg. Yeah, that's owned by Warren Buffett. I would look into, and Byberg is like one of those companies where it's similar to Progressive, where I believe you can just go on their website and set everything up yourself. I would definitely find a broker. I would definitely find a broker. I would definitely find a broker. All right. Find a broker to shop you. Hey, Mark, how many trucks are you running at the moment? 2. And I'm looking to get out of them 2. So hopefully by the springtime, I'll be all the way out, all the way out, all the way out, all the way out. No one's going to buy the business because no one has any money. So I'm just going to sell some more trucks, and then I'm going to exit out. Um, I'm working on some other stuff in the trucking space that I'm actually trying to get some VC funding for, some angel investing. I'm working on some big stuff, and I'm just ready to take things to the next level. So once I exit out, I'm going to have more time to focus on these other projects that I'm working on. D Jenkins, is that for $1 million? I don't know what's up with well, no, he's talking about right. Pippi, no, I can't seem to get it popping with this new streamer he's using. I'll try again. You can get it popping because Kirk jumped on last week and Axel jumped on. So it ain't the stream. I recently opened my cargo van LLC in December, but can't get approved for a personal or business loan. line of credit or fuel card, and I haven't been able to get load since 12/27 because I can't buy gas. Wait a minute, hold on, bro. Let me read this again. You from Chicago? I see you got the Chicago Bulls. I recently opened my cargo van LLC in December, but can't get approved for a personal or business loan. All right, so here's the thing. Let's start there. I don't know why you're trying to get a personal loan for business, and I don't know why you're trying to get a business loan. All right, you're not going to be able to get a business loan because the business isn't established long enough. If you just started it in December, no one is going to give you any money. No one's going to give you any money anyway because banks just don't give money to businesses unless you've been in business 2 years. And even when you've been in business 2 years, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to give you a loan. That's just the way it is. Banks are just not, it's just not easy to get a loan, but you haven't even been in business three months yet. So getting a loan is just not, it's just not going to happen. And I'm not trying to be mean to you or facetious. I'm just being honest with you. They're just not going to do it. They don't do it. They tell you they don't do it. I'm pretty sure they gave you the parameters of what qualifications that they look at for a business to get a loan. I'm pretty sure it said 2 to 3 years, depending on what bank you went to. Line of credit is something that you probably can entertain after you've been in business 6 months. Now, if you get a line of credit after you've been in business 6 months, it's going to be with a hard money lender. All right. Now, you can do this at your own ways. I'm giving you the information. I'm not telling you what you should or what you shouldn't do. All right. There's a company called Cabbage that is a company that will entertain a newly formed business that's been in business 6 months to a year. And then there's another one called On Deck. Both of these companies will fund a new business that's been in business at least 6 months, but it's a hard money line of credit, which means the interest rates are very high. They also do what's called daily debit loans. Now, those are what you want to stay away from, because what's going to happen is they'll fund you, right? But what's going to happen is they're going to do a daily debit. So if they give you 10 grand, they say, okay, and then they don't give you a long time to pay it back. They say, all right, we're going to give you 10 grand. We're going to give you 9 months to pay it back. We're going to do a daily debit of $150 a day, Monday through Friday, excluding Saturday, Sunday, and holidays until the $10,000 is paid back. They're going to give you a payment schedule, right? And it's going to show you every day you're going to pay $150. And then let's say in September 6th is the last $150 you're going to pay. So let's say $150 January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. And then it'll say 150 debit, balance O. 150 second, 150 balance O, all the way down. They'll give you that schedule. The reason why I say don't do that, because every day you got something coming out, and it's a hard money loan. So it may cost you $3,500 to buy 10,000, because essentially that's what you're doing. You're just buying money. All right, you're buying money, and they're giving you this money. You don't have any collateral because your business is new. So what they're giving you the money on, the collateral that you're using for this money is future receivables. They're loaning you money based on future receivables as collateral. All right, so basically you're going to have to show like your last 3 month statements. They're going to make sure you got enough money coming in on a regular basis so that they can do this daily debit to make sure that money is going to be there, and you're going to be buying 10,000 for like $4,000. You're going to spend 4,000 to buy 10. So I wouldn't recommend it if you're in desperate need of some type of line of credit, which I'm not going to advise you. I'm just going to give you the information. You want to look at one of those two companies, and you just want to be very careful with how you use that line of credit. Now, as far as fuel card, there's a bunch of different places you can go for fuel card. How many trucks do you have? If you only got one truck, if your personal credit is good, I would try to get a business credit card, even if it's a business credit card where you can, a secure business credit card that you can personally guarantee. If your credit your personal credit is okay, and then I would try to work off of that. It may be a little hard to get a fuel card for you. It seems like maybe your personal credit is not that good anyway. I don't know. You gotta give me more information in the chat. Should I just sell my van? I wouldn't sell your van. I think you need to talk to me on maybe a private uh one-on-one, so I can actually see why you're not getting approved and what your financial status is, you know what I'm saying, to see exactly where you're at, to give you a realistic view of maybe where you can possibly take this thing going forward. I wouldn't say give up. I just need to maybe speak to you on a private one-on-one to see exactly where you're at, where you dropped the ball at. Did you jump ahead of yourself? And see if I can help you turn it around. I wouldn't just throw the towel in without speaking to someone that can help you turn it around. So if you want to talk to me privately, just let me know. Or you can put it in the chat if you're not, if you're not ashamed or you don't care what other people are thinking or whatever. I don't. With a decent record, he shouldn't be paying no more than 7 to 14,000 a year. Yeah, that's what I said. Thanks. Currently at Progressive, their prices are expensive. Yeah, you need to get a broker so you can get up out of Progressive. Damn, I didn't know that. Any picks? I'm in Florida. Man, get you a broker, Rod. Get you a broker, man. Get you a broker. Get you a commercial insurance broker and let them shop you, man. There's plenty of companies out there. There's plenty of different ways the broker can set up your insurance, man. You don't have to have the same insurance company for everything. You can have 3 different insurance companies, but this is where a broker comes in. There's insurance companies out there that you can't do Google searches to find, and even if you find them, you're not going to be able to sign up because they only sign you up through brokers. All right, so you got to get a broker. You got to have a broker. Any seasoned person that has tenure in this space that you talk to is going to tell you, get a broker. All right. Broker, don't look at an insurance broker the way people look at freight brokers. It's 2 different types of brokers. The broker works for you and he gets paid. The insurance company kicks them back, not you. All right. The broker is working for you, and the kickback is coming from the insurance company. All right. So find you a broker, let the broker shop you on the market. And I guarantee you, if you do it that way, you'll save a lot more money than what you're paying right now, because Byberg is taking you on the ride of a lifetime. You need to get up out of there ASAP. You need to get up out of there. When they said it's gonna be 37,000 for insurance, this no 37,000. You should have said this.
No, God, please, no.
That's what you should have said. Ain't no way in hell I'm paying 37,000 for 2 vans a year. I don't care if I've been in 10 accidents and got a DUI. I'm not paying 37,000 for 2 vans. Come on, man. Get up out of there, man. Go get you a broker, man. Go get you a broker. 2 cargo van, that's a lot for insurance. It's definitely a lot for 2 cargo vans. How to get a loan with bad credit? What type of loan? Personal loan? Business loan? I have my hazmat endorsements, but no insurance for it. Will it be 37,000? No. Look, check it out. The most I paid in a year on insurance was 50 grand. 50 grand 1 year. All right. And that was, and I told this story before, Grange didn't renew us, and they didn't renew us at the last minute. And my broker didn't have enough time to shop my company. And he told me, he said, Mark, Grange didn't renew you. I don't know why they didn't. They waited to the last minute. I don't have enough time to shop you. You got to go with Progressive for a year. You have no choice. I don't have enough time. We only got 2 weeks, and I'm not going to be able to find you to shop you and write it up and submit it in 2 weeks. It's just not going to happen. You got to go with Progressive. They're the only people we're going to be able to get you with in this short time frame. So, I trust my broker. Been dealing with him for a long time. and we spent 50 grand that year. All right. Now, this is 50 grand with a fleet of trucks and a list of drivers. 50 grand with a fleet of trucks and a list of drivers. 50. All right. So 37,000, all right, for 2 cargo vans. It's not realistic. It's realistic because it's his reality, but when I'm saying it's not realistic, I mean he's getting taken on a ride and he needs to do something about it. And the something that he needs to do about it is getting a broker and let the broker shop you. And you're going to have one of those testimonials. You're going to say, hey, Mark, man, I went and got a broker and man, I'm saving thousands of dollars, man. And the reason why I know you're going to say that is because it's been other people that have come to me just like you. Now, not with 37,000 for 2 cargo vans, but they've come complaining about insurance. And I told them the simple thing, get a broker. And they've all giving me testimonials, man. Mark, thanks, man. I got a broker, man. I'm saving thousands, man. Man, Mark, you right about Progressive, man. My broker got me out of Progressive. I'm saving thousands. Go get you a broker, man. Go get you a broker. I'm 100% sure that when you get a broker, I don't care if he puts you with, I don't care. All right. Whoever he puts you with, he could put you with Progressive and you probably save money than what you're paying right now. And that's no cap. So, you know, that's just extremely too much. Extremely too much. All right. It's why he's telling you to find an agent. Yeah, but I can't find any cheaper. Bro, you gotta find that's why he's telling you to find an agent so you don't have to find it. The agent will look for you. How long did it take you to get your warehouse? So the warehouse was already there. So I've always been a cheap businessman when it comes to like overhead. I spend money on things that need to have money spent on, but like certain things that didn't require money, I always look for a cheap solution. So once the business started to scale, I would always meet the guys at the yard with the paperwork and things of that nature. But there would be days where certain things I would forget to print out, and then I would have to run back home, print out. Those guys are still sitting at the yard waiting for me. So once I got to like maybe 4 or 5 trucks, I was having a conversation with my mom, and that was with the trucking company. I still had the 3 moving trucks, and I'm like, man, I gotta have an office or something. I can't be running back and forth, and it's just something. So I knew that renting an office with a parking lot enough to park those trucks that I had at that time would be very expensive. But the yard where I was paying to park the trucks at, because it was a truck parking yard, was owned by a general contractor that had his own general contractor business, and he did property management. And he had the warehouse and just all this acres of land. He utilized the acres of land for vehicle storage, truck parking, boat parking, stuff like that. But it was just a big amount of land, 7 acres. So I was just thinking of a way to get an office at the cheapest rate possible. So one day I was just driving, I seen an office trailer, a small office trailer. I'm like, man, light bulb popped into my head. So I went on packvan.com. That was the office trailer company that I went with. And I went to packvan.com and I did some inquiry. I looked at the different office trailers they had. And once I looked at the rates and saw how cheap it was, I just immediately went all the way down to the biggest one, which was a 12 by 60. I called them. There was a Packvan location about 2 miles away from the yard. So one day I went there, and it was $165 a month for a 12 by 60. The 12 by 60 had a big office on one end of the trailer, had a big conference room in the middle, and then the big office on the other end of the trailer, and it had a bathroom, and you could fully customize it the way you wanted it. All right, so when she told me a 165 for the 12 by 60, I said, man, I'll take it. And then she set me up for the delivery. The delivery was $1,000. They delivered it. It was $1,000. Oh, but prelude, I had to talk to my landlord and ask him, was it okay? And he said, yeah, you can bring it. And I said, well, how much you gonna charge me? He said, I don't worry about it. Just when they drop it, we'll talk about it, Mark. You're a good tenant, whatever. So boom, I I ordered it. We went there. I paid the $1,000 plus the first month, 165. So it was 1165. They delivered it. Now my landlord, like I said, was a general contractor and property manager for about 500 properties. So when it got there, they dropped it. He used a bobcat to move it. He had one of his electricians in his contracting company run the electric. So what we did was we hooked the trailer up to the building's power source. So my electric was running off the building's electric, and he just incorporated that into the extra rent he charged me for the trailer. He had his plumber come hook up the bathroom. So they dug 6 feet down into the ground, ran the piping up to the bathroom. So I had running water in the bathroom, and that was the cheapest solution to get an office. And I still had my trucks parked there. And then what happened was he ended up foreclosing on that space right there, and he ended up moving out. So when he moved out, by me being a tenant and having a lease, the bank came and they were like, "Yo, um, you'll just be renting from us now. We have the space. 9 times out of 10, we're not gonna sell it because the taxes are very high on this place. The taxes are 65,000 a year. And prior to my landlord getting it, the guy who I talked about earlier, his name is Ron, who was a trucker who bought it in '92 for 250,000. He ended up he was on the verge of losing it. My landlord came and bought him out for $1 million. He was a trucker, so once he got that million minus what he owed on back taxes and stuff, he walked away with about 400,000 on the sale. He stopped driving trucks for about 3 years and snorted coke and having sex with prostitutes until he ran through the 400,000. He's still there on that land, living in his truck. The bank came and said, "Well, you know what? You're here. We're not going to pay for any of the maintenance on the warehouse. You're welcome to move into the warehouse. All the landscaping, the snow removal, this place is just too much that we're not going to pay for it. You can pay for it, and then this is what we're charging you for rent. And whatever upkeep you do as far as the land and the space, just submit the receipts and just take it out of your rent. And if there's anything left over, send the difference. If you spend more than what the rent is, then just add that on to the difference of the next month. We're just not going to maintain this property. Because it's just too much, we're not going to do it. So just submit the receipts and take it out of your rent." I said, okay, this is a hell of a deal. So the guy was looking out for me, and that's how I stumbled up on a warehouse. I just got lucky by the grace of God. So God was looking out for the kid. So I think I told that story before. So Ron is still there, the trucker. He ran through. So when John bailed him out for the million, bought the land, his intentions were to build a community back there, but he had to get it rezoned. The alderman and the powers that be in the city of Chicago, even though he's a big time developer, I don't think they were working in his favor. He just didn't have the capital enough to grease the right palms because he was in a black community. He was a white guy, and the black alderman just wasn't playing ball with him. So after 10 years of attempting, he had stopped paying the mortgage on the place. He bought the place for $1 million. The mortgage was $3,000 a month. He stopped paying the mortgage on it for a few years, stopped paying the taxes. He knew it was going to foreclose. He didn't care. That's just how, big time real estate investors do, because they know how to manipulate and maneuver around the system to the point where it doesn't really affect them. So once he got put out, that's when the bank approached me, and Ron is still there living in his truck. He ran through the 400. He smoked. He did coke and had sex with prostitutes until he ran out of 400,000. Now he's back driving trucks, living on them. And John, my landlord, just bought another warehouse a couple miles away, and that's that. So that's how I got my warehouse. To run with a dispatcher, they asked 1 million with 100,000 cargo, and that is it running up to 500 miles. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. To run with a dispatcher, they ask 1 million with 100,000 cargo. Okay, that's the standard, and that is running up to 500. So listen, you're trying to make this harder than what it is. You're making this harder than what it is. Everybody has the same parameters from getting started. Everybody got to have a million general liability. Everybody got to have a million commercial auto. Everybody got to have 100,000 in cargo. That's just the industry standard. That's just the minimum. Everybody has to have that. You're making these numbers seem 1 million. See, this is a prime example. To run with a dispatcher, they ask 1 million with 100,000. See how he's saying, and I'm not trying to rag on you or nothing. This is what I'm talking about. This $1 million. When people think 1 million, they just think, and even in this aspect for the insurance, like, yo, just because it's $1 million in general liability, that's going to cover the cost if anything happens, God forbid, that, you're getting sued or you do something that, the claim, they're willing to pay up to $1 million. All right. It doesn't mean just because it's $1 million doesn't mean that you have to pay $37,000 for the year. All right. You're looking at this $1 million thing like this is something that rarely happens. It can happen, but it's extremely rare that you're gonna go out there and do something that's going to come back at $1 million loss to the insurance company. All right. Stop looking at this $1 million like it's, oh my God, they're giving me $1 million. It's going to cost $37,000 a year. No, man, that's not true. You're paying too much. Stop fighting it. All right. Listen to Mark. Stop fighting it. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. You got people in the chat that's telling you it's crazy. You got a guy saying he had 2 accidents, all right, in the truck and he's not paying no. You're paying 3 times as much as him. I'm telling you, I spent $50,000 with Progressive with a fleet of trucks and a list of drivers. You're paying $37,000 for the year for 2 vans. Listen to Mark. Get a broker. Don't fight it. Stop fighting it. Relax. Stop fighting. Find a broker. All right. Give them your information. Tell them to shop you. I'm willing to bet you. Whoever you find as your broker, I don't care if they give you Sesame Street insurance. I don't care. I guarantee you it's going to be cheaper than $37,000 a year. Just do what I tell you. Go get you a broker, bro. I don't need to hear nothing else, bro. Everybody has $1 million in cargo. I mean, a general liability, $1 million in commercial auto, and 100,000. Those numbers look big, but that doesn't mean you pay a big amount. Get a broker, bro. I was watching an old video of yours. Did you ever get your CDL? I thought you mentioned getting a permit or something. Man, I ain't getting no CDL, man. I thought about it, man. I ain't doing that. I don't got the time to do it, man. There's other things that I'm trying to do. Yeah, I was just talking, man. I ain't getting no CDL. It flashes the eCam welcome, but goes back to the try again. Something wrong with your phone, bro. Your phone ain't giving it permission. Something you gotta, it's something that you have to change, a setting that you gotta change in your phone so to allow you to open up your camera audio. I know you on an Android, so maybe that's why. Man, you in Chicago, man. So hit me up. Try a different browser. I stay in Oak Lawn now, but born and raised in Chicago. Yeah, hit me up, man. Something you I don't know if you want me to advise you on here. Just put in all the information of what your personal credit is. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it okay? I already know your business credit ain't hitting on nothing because the business is new. But for you to, I don't think you should sell your van. I just really need to know what it is that you're lacking. You said you opened your cargo van LLC in December, but can't get approved for personal loan. So your personal insurance, one, I wouldn't suggest getting a personal loan for your business. All right. I would suggest against that. As far as a business loan, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get a business loan. The business is too new. Line of credit is still too new. You're going to have to be in business. So here's what I'm thinking without you telling me. I'm thinking you had enough money to get in the business, but you didn't have enough business initially when you started in December to float the business through the learning curve. You didn't do enough research and due diligence so that when you jumped in, you were able to get going right away in something, making money, and start receiving money. So I'm thinking you got in with just enough to get in. Everything that you're mentioning early, you can't attain yet. You can't even get a line of credit yet. Even a hard money line of credit is going to require you to be in business at least 6 months. So getting in business, unless you're getting into a business where it's just, this ain't one of these type of business where you can get angel investing and venture capitalists. Like, you're not trying to build this big tech application that's going to provide utility to change the world. This is a van business. You're supposed to have the money and getting into this business to float you through the learning curve until you get your first settlement, and it just doesn't seem, based on what the information you're telling me, you're looking to get loans right away, and it just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. And these are the things that I teach, on my channel. Like, I just wish you would have came to me earlier. I would have told you that wasn't gonna happen. That wasn't gonna happen. But luckily for you, you're Chicagoan. I'm a Chicagoan, so hopefully I can point you in the right direction to get you making some money. Go to Sam's card. He said he gets you a card for your gas. Yep, Cabbage approved me. It even better if you already have a relationship with them. Credit cards, checking account. See, that's why I told you Cabbage is one of those ones, but you're going to have to be in business at least 6 months. You don't even have enough to meet the threshold of what they require to approve you. Like, they're going to want to see 3 months of your previous statements. You don't have 3 months of previous statements. All right, because they're loaning you money based on your future receivables. All right, so you don't have 3 months of statements. So, and I'm just keeping it funky with you. I know what I'm talking about. So I'm not going to sit up here and sell you a dream. I'm just going to be brutally honest with you. You're going to have to provide 3 months of statements for a hard money line of credit with Cabbage or on deck, and you just don't have it. So I really need to know what your situation is so I can advise you appropriately. Is $868 normal for $1 million commercial auto insurance, $100,000 cargo insurance? Is it normal for a cargo van found a ProMaster for under $29,000? Who is that through? 868 sounds a little bit on the higher side. I would say you could try to get it down to about 600, maybe low sevens. It sounds like a progressive thing. That number 868, it sounds like a progressive thing. Let me know if that's a progressive thing. 29,000 for the van for the ProMaster, depending on the year. That's a good, and the mileage. That's a good rate. All right, we got a guest coming up here, guys. Let me bring him up. You there? Yo, you gotta turn your mute off. We can't see you either. You gotta turn your camera on and you gotta turn your mute off. Yo, you. Yo, you gotta turn your camera on. All right, you turned your mute off, but I can't hear you. You gotta turn your camera on. I'm gonna leave him in the green room until he figure it out. If you can hear me, man, figure that out, and I'll see when you pop up on, and then I'll bring you back on. But I'll leave you in the green room until you get your camera and your audio going. You gotta come up off that Android, man. You gotta come up off that Android. You got one van. All right, we know that. So what's your personal credit looking like? What's your personal credit looking like? What's your personal credit looking like? But I'm gonna keep it funky with you, regardless of your personal credit. And I'm just being real, being honest. I'm just being real. I'm not one of those guys that are going, being honest. It's hard to get money when you're starting a new business. No one gives you money. So even the hard money people, it's 6 months to a year. All right, you're too new for anyone to take a risk on. All right, because most businesses fail within the first year, and you haven't even got through the first quarter yet, and you're already looking for capital. All right, and which is something that you should have uh, in your initiation, your initial phase of starting your business. You should have made sure you had enough operating capital, cash flow to fund your business through, the first few months of the business. If you start your business in December and it's January, right, and you're looking for capital, something's telling me that you there there's some things you missed. All right. Your van hasn't moved, you said, since let me go back. Your van hasn't moved since December 27th because I can't buy gas. All right, if you started your company, and I'm not ragging on you, bro, so don't, if you started your company in December and by the end of December, within that same month, you couldn't buy gas, that means you didn't have enough money to start your business. Now, there's opportunities here that you can do to make money to get your van rolling, that you can get some cash flow coming in same day, but you're going to have to find somebody to loan you some money to fill up your tank. And you need to get out here and start doing some gig work. That gig work will allow you to get paid the same day or the next day. And you need to take those gig jobs. You need to go do Amazon Flex or Spark or something so you can get some cash rolling in, so you can keep some gas in your tank. Because here's the thing, once you start playing ball with the big boys and you start doing these logistics companies and things like that, you're going to have to wait to a week or two to get paid. All right, and if you just didn't have the capital to withstand that, then you entered into the space completely wrong. And that's just being honest with you. It's something not right. So you need to break everything down to me, man, so I can see where I know where you messed up, but getting a loan, getting a line of credit ain't gonna happen right now, bro. And that's just the honest to God truth. You just don't have enough time for anybody to trust you. If he has a 680 or above on personal credit, and his personal credit score for anybody wise is set, then he can go in and PG on the business side for his personal. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't suggest getting a personal loan for a business like a cargo van business. You're going to take out a personal loan, and he's already shown signs that he lacks the knowledge of running a business. So why go out and get a loan and misappropriate the money, right? When he entered into a space in week 1 of December, and by week 4 of December, he was already parked the truck because he didn't have the gas money. That means he didn't have the capital to begin with, which means he didn't enter into the space properly with enough cash flow. So that just shows me that he still has a lot of learning to do about the business. There's nothing wrong with them being honest. But to get a personal loan, even if he qualified for a personal loan, his knowledge base is it's not advanced enough that he's going to do what he needs to do with that money. He's going to misappropriate that money. He might not do it, purposely. It's just going to be ignorance, because he just doesn't know how to utilize the cash flow to get to where he needs to get to. And not only not utilize it, not know how to probably don't even know how to pay himself to even set that money to the side to pay back the loan. So I wouldn't suggest that. I would not suggest that. That's just me. Make sure you have everything on for ECAM. Navy Federal will get him a loan. I don't think he needs a loan. I don't think he needs a loan. I think he's in this place. If he has a van and it's just parked because he doesn't have gas money, like he said, he needs to go out and borrow some money from someone he knows on a personal level to fill up that tank so that he can get that van working, doing gigs, something that he can pay himself on a daily basis and save up that money so that then he can then therefore advance. Going out taking a loan on something that he has to pay back for something as small as gas money, I don't think that type of commitment is needed as of right now. If I can help coach him out of this rut that he's in without taking out a personal loan, I think that's better because I don't think he has the knowledge base to know what to do with the money, even if he got it. So, and that's just keeping it real. Just grind it out without a loan. That's going to add fuel on the fire. That's what I'm saying. Add that shit. If he get a $10,000 loan, now that's 10,000 he got to pay back, depending on what he bought the 10,000 for. He probably gonna buy 10,000 for 3. Nah, no, not nowadays. Shoot, with the points, man, he might 10,000 might cost you 4 or 5 now. So I think you should thug it out, bro. Thug it out, man. I don't think you need to get a loan. Do insurance brokers do a gang of credit pulls? Soft, if anything. I've never seen a credit pull come up on anything. So if they do it, it's soft. I have an opportunity to get a good paying contract, but need 300,000 cargo and have an extremely hard time obtaining it. Why are you having a hard time obtaining it? Are you Mbak? Man, what is this? Hey, listen. I don't know what this is, but I don't know. I don't know what this is, but if Pippi, if Buddy get out of line, smoke him out. Smoke him out. I'm loading up for you, hyper dogs. I don't know what Mbakutum is, but that's something that somebody was saying last week. I'm loading up. I'm loading up on you. We're gonna smoke you out. You come in here with anything. Load it up. Smoke them out. Don't play no games in here, man. Hey, DeWalt, I'm gonna bring you up. What up?
Sound on.
You good? Yo,
Settings.
we see you. We hear you. All you gotta do is talk now. We hear you. We hear you.
You hear me now?
Yeah. Hey, Pippi, was this the same? It was a different guy last week talking about this Mbakta. What is that?
Hold on. I can. Yo, you low as hell on my. Let me put my earpiece in. Let me see if I can hear
We
it
hear
better.
you, man. We hear you. All you gotta do is talk.
I can't
Load
hear
him
shit
up.
right now.
Oh, she already smoked him out. Smoke him out.
Yo,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yeah. What the hell is Mbakutan? Somebody come trolling me with this shit every week. I gotta figure out what that is. And yeah, we hear you, man. What's up? So, man, you can hear me, right? We can. So we can see you now. We can hear you now, but you can't hear. You can't hear us.
All right,
You hear
I
me?
can now.
What's good?
Yes, sir.
It took you 2 weeks to get it together. So check it out.
What's good, bro?
Hey, check it out. So 2 weeks ago, was it 2 weeks ago or was it last week? Was it 2 weeks ago or was it last
Uh,
week?
I don't know, man. I think that might have been in your dream or something, man. I think
Nah,
you
it
just
wasn't
had
in
a
my
bad
dream.
dream
So
or
so
something,
check
man.
it out. 2 weeks ago, I think it was
Man.
2 Sundays. No, I think it was last Sunday. He came on. Remember, he was talking about this van, and I coached him on the proper way to go purchase the van. All right, now I know a lot of y'all was in here, and y'all said, "Yeah, Mark is right. Listen to Mark. He's telling you right." This man DMs me the next day and did the complete opposite. So I want you to
Hey,
tell
man,
him
I'm
what.
losing connection.
No,
I'm
you ain't
losing
losing.
connection
You
right
ain't
now,
losing
man.
connection. I want you to tell him what you did. Tell him what you did.
All right, so look, this would have transpired. So currently, well, excuse me, previously, I started with a rental, right? So when I eventually went on ahead and decided to obtain my own vehicle, somehow, some way, I went in there with intentions on putting the vehicle in my business name. Okay, and somehow, some way, I ended up um, allowing this salesman finesse me into putting it in my personal.
Hey man, hey man, listen. You can't.
So um, I think a lot of it was I was being too thirsty, to be honest. Um, I kind of let him. If it makes sense, I kind of let him take more control than he should have taken. Looking back at it, just being honest. Um, so looking back at it, he kind of played off of that. Like, damn, I know he wanted to get out of that damn rental ASAP, right? So I kind of allowed him to, like I said, put me in a position to where it would be on my personal, going through my personal. Um, I mean, even after we had this conversation, when I was on here before, he told me straight up to put it in my business name, and if they don't want to damn play ball, then you goddamn keep it moving. Um, and I still allowed that shit to happen,
Hmm,
but I'm not nowhere near happy about. I mean, I'm partly happy that I did, get the vehicle. Um,
okay.
but overall, it's kind of that fuck me, what I mean? What's up, man?
So,
One twenty.
so basically, what he did
243.
was, so basically, what he did was
He definitely.
he purchased the van under his personal credit instead of the business credit, which they sold him. They told him that, and this is where he should have understood that it was something going on. They told him that they couldn't sell him the van under the business credit, even with him personally guaranteeing it. And when he tried to purchase it under the business, they asked him for his financials, which he just started his business, so he only had one invoice, right? But they said if he
Yep.
bought it under his personal, they didn't need to see nothing. They just went off his credit, which, if you think about what I just said, none of that makes sense. Your personal, they don't need to see nothing, but your business, they want to see financials. So if they didn't want to see nothing with your personal, they could have easily just sold you the van under your business and let your personally guarantee it, which is what they could have did, they should have did, and when I told you that they were going to do. So
I
basically, what
did.
he should have done was he should have left that dealership. Um, Ultimately, you don't want to buy an asset or equipment for a trucking company or a van company under your personal name. You want all, it's an asset, but it's also a liability, because anything can
Mm,
happen. You don't want that under your name, for a magnitude of reasons that I'm not going to go into right now for liability purposes. But anytime you buy a piece of equipment for a business, it should be under the business name, because now, like the way you do your taxes, like everything is going to be more complicated. You see what I'm
mm,
saying? It's going to be more
mm,
complicated. You could easily have just taken your statement, you running all everything through your business bank account. So you could just really just download your statements from January through February, or print them out however you would do it, and just send that file, or send that CSV file or that PDF when you download it to your accountant, and they could have sent all your debits and all your credits, all the stuff that was coming in for that business and going out for that business, including you paying the note. All right, but by you purchasing that van under your personal, it makes the process a little bit more
mm,
complicated now. And, liability driven reasons, God forbid, I'm not saying this is going to happen. God forbid something do happen, it's under your name.
mm.
You know, I mean, what's done is done now, but I just wanted you to talk, you know, from a learning perspective for other people that are entering the space to maybe learn from this to know that, you know, when you go to one dealership, if they're not willing to play ball, then just go to another dealership. Because obviously it was just something that they just didn't want to take the chance on a business for whatever reason, but it don't make sense because they sold him the van under his personal and didn't require any type of financial history. They sold it all off the strength of his credit score, which they still could have did uh, under the business with
with the
his
business.
personally guaranteeing that loan for that van. You see what I'm saying? So it is what it is. He should have walked. Yeah, he should have walked away, but he didn't. It's a learning lesson, and hopefully other
So
people learn from it.
the only way I would be in a position to do that shit now is if it's paying the damn thing off full, ain't it? Ain't that like the only way
I mean,
to cross that over?
if you got the money to pay for it in full, and then what you can do is once you receive the title, you can sell the van to the business for $1, and that way you can just transfer it all over.
But it got to be paid in full though already, right? With
Yeah,
title in hand and all that
you
shit.
need the title. You can just transfer it, or do a sale of $1.
Damn. Yeah, don't do that. Lesson learned for everybody. Don't do
Yeah,
that.
it is what it is. It's done now. So, um, he wanted
But
to tell
yeah,
me.
that's how I did what Pibby said, and I couldn't copy it because it wanted me to copy it. I just had to write that shit down and put it in my Samsung browser. Y'all probably thought I was just bullshitting and ain't want to come on in, but yeah, that shit worked. It wasn't working with my Chrome, no. So I did it in the Samsung browser, and it came right up.
But it's good, man. I'm glad you was able to get on and tell your story, man.
And tell my hard lesson, uh, learned story right after you had given me advice on what the hell to do.
It's all good.
Yeah,
You learned, so it is what it is. Hopefully, somebody can take your experience and and learn from it, so they don't make that same decision. But just next time when you get into that situation, just walk away. I've been in that situation before. You know what I'm saying? So it was discrimination. Is basically what they did. You want to walk away from those situations. Your personal credit is strong enough to guarantee the business, and you know that now because they gave you the van solely
right,
off your personal credit, and you didn't show them anything. You didn't.
right,
They didn't
right.
even care if you had a job or not. You know what I'm saying? So
Got it.
although I'm happy that you got the van, I just wish you would have purchased the van the way that I coached you to do it because you want to
Right.
keep everything in the business name. All right.
Yeah, I get what you're saying about how now it's gonna overcomplicate a lot of shit too. I'm like, damn, I did not think about that, man. Like
Hey,
taxes and stuff like that. Like
it's done.
just
It's done now. So the only thing you can deal with it is do about it now. Is just deal with it, and then just going forward, if you plan on scaling and growing, just make sure all the equipment you buy thus for make sure it's all under the business. All
so,
right.
bro. So,
Appreciate you for coming up, telling people that.
man, no doubt, big homie, man. I appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Just stay up, man. Keep making that money.
Yes, sir.
All right, bet. All right, so we finally got him up to tell that story, and just walk away, guys. If the dealership ain't playing ball the way they should be playing ball, just go with somebody that's gonna play ball the right way. Uh, where did I leave off at? All right, man. What? Let me get back to what was I talking about? Where's this Pippi, you smoked them out. This hyper draws thing. I don't know what that is. I went and looked at it. I don't look like dude. I ain't got time to play no games. So anybody that come in here playing these kids, get them up out of here. If I don't catch them, get them up out of here. I have Progressive, which I pay $8,500 a year for a 26-foot truck. See, Rod, you paying too much, yeah, but you don't go OTR. I'm pretty sure he does go OTR. Is that for me? Yes, I do go OTR. Right. Somebody has you brainwashed, bro. Somebody has you brainwashed into believing that 37,000 is a fair rate for 2 cargo vans because you go over the road and because you have $1,000,000 in general liability and $1,000,000 in commercial auto and $100,000 in cargo. And I can tell because you keep fighting it. Stop fighting it. It's too much money. It's too much money. Go get a broker, please. Everybody's telling you this in the chat, man. The chat, one thing about my chat, everybody over here are serious. All right. We're going to keep it funky with you. All right. It's too much, bro. All right. It's too much, bro. Go get you a broker, bro. You know, go get you a broker, bro. That's too much money. It's too much. What the fuck? Why am I? Oh, God damn it. God, why am I? See, man, why am I paying so much? I don't know why you're paying so much. That's something that you need to find out. But the thing, what you need to do is go get you a broker, bro. Something's not right. Definitely taking advantage of you. Everybody's saying it. Everybody's saying it. What are you paying? This has been a fun night. Why you only live once? He was thinking. Yeah, have a joy. Bad weather coming. Y'all be safe on the roads. I just updated. Yes, it's Lisa here in the Midwest. Copy and paste right now. I pay $550 a month for a 150 for 2 vans, but I want to go OTR. Yeah, you can have Kirk if need be. I sent you a message on Instagram. All right, send me a message on Instagram, and then I'm gonna get to it tomorrow. I'll look at it tomorrow and respond. No shame in working the job while you build your business. That gig work will keep you rolling. Everybody's giving you the right advice. I believe that is for Mr. Anderson. And you're here, so I can point you in the right directions with some companies that are here locally that'll get your van moving on a daily basis. But I think for right now, what you need to focus on is you need to get some money. Once again, I'm going to say I don't think you need to get a loan. I don't think you need one. I think you just need to find something to keep some cash rolling in right now. As a dude climbing in the video yelling stupid stuff. Yeah, I didn't click on the video, but I just typed the name and I saw it. But I don't know, that's 2 weeks in a row, so I'm just gonna keep getting them up out of here. Do they have a return policy? Man, probably not. I mean, he out now. He ain't had the van for a week, so he gonna have to roll with it. But it's a lesson, you know. What made it just difficult for me to hear the following day is because the previous night he was on here and I told him what to do, and everyone co-signed what I said, and he just did the opposite, you know. So, you know, I wanted him to come on and share that story just to let you guys, you know, I know everybody when they get to that point where they're at that point where they're ready to purchase their vehicle and they go into that dealership ready, strong credit, money in the bank, it may just not be the day for you. You know, God may use certain scenarios to force you out of the situation. You just got to take heed to the signs. It could have been a few reasons. Maybe that probably wasn't the van for him or whatever. I don't know. It's done now, so I don't want to digress. But, you know, basically what I'm saying is have some patience, exercise some due diligence. When you go into these dealerships, these sales guys are greedy. All right. So just understand that when you have your game plan and you know, like, yo, I'm going to buy the van under the business, but I know the business isn't established or has established enough credit history, so I'm going to have to personally guarantee it. That's what you're expecting. If anything else happens or they're telling you anything else, then, man, that's just not the place for you. All right, that's going to be one of them days where you're going to have to walk out. But guess what? You're still walking out with everything that she came in with. All right, you didn't lose anything. You went to pick up something, but you didn't leave with what you went to go get, but you didn't lose what you came with. All right, so and you don't want to have that buyer's remorse for something that you knew going in wasn't the game plan to begin with. So I'm just wanting to say, when you go into these dealerships, just make sure you stick to the game plan. Stick to the game plan. Don't let the dealer out or the salesperson out game you. Stick to the game plan. I believe he can. I don't know what the protocol is for that. He would need to go to his DMV, but I believe he's gonna have to sell it to from one party to the next. But by him not owning the vehicle because it's still under finance, I don't know how that would work. He would actually have to talk to the finance company about that. So that's something he might want to do. He might want to call the finance company. 2 hours plus now, big homie. Damn, for real it is. That kid took it personal last Sunday. That ambi-talking shit started from there. He probably called his friends to show you. Yeah, but you got to be a subscriber to come in, so they can keep trolling. I'm just gonna keep kicking them out. I don't care. That's what happens, when kids don't have nothing better to do and their parents don't put them to bed after bedtime. I'm just gonna load up and kick them out. All right. We're just gonna load up and kick him out. I actually got this sound effect specifically for him. You know what I'm saying? Auction is an option too. Good credit, buy from auction and save a lot. Auction is a good option if you got cash. If you got cash, then auction is the best bet. Auction is the best bet. So, all right. I mean, I can't make y'all stop saying it. Just don't post it in here. I mean, I don't even know what the hell it is. Like, I don't even know what these guys is talking about until I went and go looked it. But dude ain't looking nothing like me. So they can play games all they want, these little gamers. I don't even know how they find a trucking channel. Like, man, they need to go on them game channels and play those games. I appreciate how you really go through the chat and speak on as much as we write in the chat. Oh, no, man, it's all good. That's what I come on for. When I do these lives, I already allot the time for it. So I know Sundays I come on at 8. So my day is filled with whatever I need to get done. And I make sure that, I allow myself enough time to do this. And if I got to sacrifice something else to do this because I've given people my word, then I'd rather break a promise to myself than break my word to someone else. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. That I'm a man of principles, you know what I'm saying? So if I know I work out every Sunday is actually leg day, right? But I got other things that I got to do and I don't make it to the gym in time, or gym time is going to run into the time that I go live, then I'm just going to have to do a two a day the next day. I'm going to have to do legs and chest the next day. All right. So I'd rather sacrifice something for me to keep my word if I told someone else I was going to do something for them. That's just how I roll. I got principles. So when I come on at 8, then I'm on until I go through the chat and I answer everybody's questions, or I engage with everyone that's trying to engage with me. Now, I can't say that it'll be like that forever. One day I might get to the point where I might be like one of these guys like Fresh and Fit that got thousands of people and it'll just be impossible. But, with the amount of people that I have, I can engage with everybody. I mean, this box truck community space, it's a small, intimate space. It's not really like self-awareness channels like your Kevin Samuels and your Fresh and Fit, or it's not like hip hop with like Danger Academics. It's not a car channel like, or a gaming channel where they got thousands of people in the chat. It's just not that. So, this box truck space is small, intimate. So with the amount of people that be in these chats, I can actually engage with everybody. And that's what I do. So I appreciate it. It's all good. say it a different way. Not here though. Yeah, I don't know. I want to hear your input on what you expect back for Q2. I think Q2 is going to be down. Reports are saying that now. A lot of the analysts were saying that Q2 is going to be up, but there's no signs of showing that it's going to be up. We still haven't even seen the bottom yet. If you look at freight waves, it has a couple articles saying that the analyst expectations for Q2 and the rest of 2023 have changed from optimistic to pessimistic. So I was already leaning that way. And I think I touched on it like during the Christmas break. I tapped on it, but I really didn't go into detail. A lot of you guys probably missed that because during Christmas break, a lot of people were with family, so a lot of people didn't catch those lives that I did. But I didn't continue to verbalize on it because, I don't want to be the guy who is right about forecasting, but we're in a time period where everything that I have to forecast and tell people is negative. So I don't want to continue to give people negative information. So that's why I really didn't expound on it week after week after week. Um, but yeah, I kind of figured this year would be kind of a wash because what's going on now is a correction, and corrections don't happen overnight. It takes time, and last year started extremely well due to the pandemic and the stimulus that was fueling the economy. That's why you had an unusually high volume January and February. Exiting out of the Christmas peak season, January volume was very high. February volume was very high. We went into the spring. Volume was still kind of high, but it was cooling off. Then we had that fuel spike. Then you saw rates starting to decline. So at least the first 4 to 5 months of the year, rates were still kind of high. And then you saw the transition happen to the summer, and it continued to go down leading into the fall. Peak season wasn't good, which I predicted back at the end of the summer. So this year is pretty much probably going to be a wash because the industry has to correct itself, and that's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. So 1 quarter isn't going to be enough for the industry to fully cycle out and correct itself and enter into a new cycle. Um, so I'm I just think 2023 is going to be a wash. I think you need to proceed with caution, and you need to be very careful on how you run your trucking or your cargo van business for the remainder of the year. Like I said earlier, we still haven't seen the bottom yet. All right, in order for things to turn around and start to progress and upwards more momentum, we got to see the bottom. All right, and we're still waiting on the bottom. So by seeing the bottom, that means rates need to drop to an all-time low bottom, just like the stock market. And then from there, once it bottoms out, it'll probably um, sit there for a time period. I can't give you a time period how long, and then you'll slowly start to see rates go ascend, going upwards. So right now, what I would be looking for if you're a business owner for that bottom to come. All right, so that's what everyone's waiting for is the bottom. Try not to look at it as a positive or negative. It's just is the ebbs and flows of life. By the way, you got some of the best content on YouTube, not just the trucking or box trucking community. I appreciate that, man. I really do. So comments like that is what inspires me to keep coming on. I'm a human being. So sometimes I do go through spats where I'm like, man, I'm just tired. I don't want to come on, and then people will be like, you can't not go on. You got a lot of people that really admire your content, and they'll be upset if you don't come on, because I got a lot of stuff going on, and man, I be tired, man. When I do these lives, man, I just be beat afterwards. People would think when you go on live and you just talk to people and there's nothing really to it, but as I'm talking to people, speaking to people, it's work. It's a gift. People get paid a lot of money to speak to people, and after I do these speaking lives, man, I be drained, man. I be drained, but it's something I've committed to, and a lot of people come to these lives for information. I just want to be able to continue to provide good information. That's why I do it, and comments like that is what helps, um, motivate me to come on here and continue to want to help people. Um, I had a company reach out to me the other day, and they said they have been watching me for a while, and they're trying to get me to be their brand ambassador. And they said the reason why they like me compared to everybody else in the space is because since they've been watching me, they said, man, you genuinely want to help people. And like some of the questions they asked, they said, not one time have you ever said you will be willing to partner up with us because we can help you get more subscribers. You never mentioned money. You never mentioned subscribers. The only thing you've ever said was, man, you just want to help people. So, that's all I'm here to do is really just help people, and hopefully, I can, kind of, fix some of the issues that were caused last year, um, and kind of maybe change the outlook on the way people look and perceive this box truck culture now that may have gotten taken advantage of last year and the year prior, and just uh, you know give people a better make people look at it in a better perspective, that there are people that have actually done this, that are knowledgeable in the industry, that aren't out to get over on you, and there's people that are out there in this space that are willing to help you, that have the knowledge base, and they're capable of fully guiding people in the right direction, that aren't really looking for anything from anybody from a monetary standpoint. So that's what my objective is for the channel, and going forward, is just to build a positive community in the space where people can uh, bounce ideas off of each other, and just want to continue to be a leader in the space, and kind of change the negative connotation that has been placed on this space over the past few months due to a lot of the events that happened last year. Creating content, going live is a lot of work. It is a lot of work, it is. I put out a lot of content last year, and I did a lot of work. This year I want to focus more on mindset type of content. You know, you're gonna have a bunch of new people coming into the space. It's gonna be like a revolving door. You're gonna see new people come in, you're gonna see people leave out, people new come in, people leave out, because these people are just looking for either the fame or the money. And even with that, they're not gonna do and take the time to put in to get either. All right, because it's hard work. People don't want to work hard, you know what I'm saying? So it is a lot of hard work, but nothing comes easy. If you want to get something out of something, you got to put in the hard work. And even with me not really getting nothing monetary out of it, I'm putting in the hard work so I can reach a bigger platform of people, so that the word and the message can get spread louder. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I would like to contact you. I would like guidance in the business. I have a 26-foot box truck in which way I should go. I'm thinking to get a high roof cargo van for the trouble ahead. All right, yeah, just hit me on the DM, and then we can set something up, or you can visit the website, www.boxtruckcourses.com, for a coaching session. And if you don't want to book a coaching session, you can try for a free mentorship in the second quarter of this year. One day you'll be as big as Mother Trucker's channel. Yeah, he got a really big channel. Over time, I know the channel will grow, but I don't know if I really aspire to be that big. That big comes with a lot of responsibilities. Over time, I know it'll get to that point at the rate that my channel uh, is growing. But the box truck space is a lot more smaller and intimate than the semi truck space. And even if I did get to that point one day, I would still try to be like the Robin Hood for the space. If I can take away from the big corporations and they want to use my likeness to promote or be a brand ambassador, I would, utilize their resources to pass along to the community so that I can pass those opportunities along to the people that, subscribe to the channel. So that's what my goals as far as utilizing these big corporations. So if I were to get a channel as big as him, then that's what my goal would be, to take from the rich and give to the poor. You know, we appreciate the work you do, bro. Keep going, Jared Gutierrez. Appreciate you. Let me make sure I got everybody. I got an idea to get out of the situation, so I can do the right way. I know somebody that knows something about something. Man, don't take what I'm saying to heart too much. Just take it as a learning lesson. I mean, don't sweat it too much. It's done now. Just take it as a learning lesson, man. When I come up here and I tell you something, you come and ask me for advice. And Kurt was talking about this early on his channel, but he was talking about people going from one content creator. And he said, man, you ask me one question, I go on Mark's live, I see that person ask Mark the same question. 3 days later, Vic will go live and you see that same person ask Vic the same question. If you ask a person a question and you trust their advice on it, then if they give you an answer and they respond to you and you trust their advice, then trust their advice. You know what I'm saying? And then you got people in the chat that are co-signing it. You can't get excited when it comes to business. You can't run your business based off of excitement and emotion. If you running a business off emotion, you're gonna make bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna have happy emotions, you're gonna have sad emotions, you're gonna have mad emotions. All right. So if you're in a mad emotion type of mood and you got a phone call where you have to make a decision like that and you're mad, you're gonna make the wrong decision because you're gonna be drawn off your mad emotions. If you get a call and you have to make a decision on a whim like that and you're just in la la land happy, you may make a happy decision based off a happy emotion that you shouldn't have made. You should have made a more shrewd decision, but you were being a nice guy and it turned to bite you in the behind. So I think when you're running a business, you have to run a business with passion. I think, you know what I'm saying, not emotion. I don't draw off emotion. I'm a very serious person, especially when it comes to business. Anybody that knows me personally will tell you that I'm a man of few words. I barely even crack a smile. You know what I'm saying? So I don't draw off emotion. I draw off passion of anything, and I draw off ambition. All right. Emotions will put you in a position where you're making where you're making bad decisions. So I think when you went in there that day, you were just excited. You wanted to get started. You wanted to get out of that rental, but you just made a decision on emotions because you was happy and you was anxious, and you just take it as a learning lesson. I wouldn't think too much into it right now. What's done is done, and going forward, you'll make the right decision. We all make mistakes getting started, and that just was one of yours. So just take it as a learning lesson and don't beat yourself up on it. Hit that like button, guys, too. Hit that like button. I appreciate it. If you hit the like button, it gets the content into the algorithm. With a new Dino or Dine Amazon facility, use owner operators over there. I don't know. Oh, DIN3. I don't know what facility that is, so I really can't tell you. I gave that my Q2. I appreciate how you really go through the chat. I got that one. auction. I got that one. Just making sure that they have a return policy. I see why they keep coming in here. All right, I think I got everything. I know I skipped over a bunch earlier and jumped to the bottom. Right now, copy the link, paste, bad weather. All right, I think I got everybody. If I missed you, I apologize. You can hit me in the DM and I'll answer it. We appreciate the work. Many thanks. Shout out to you, TT. Don't run too much of anything or emotion. It has a place in very few areas of life. Appreciate you, my brother. Have learned so much from you and even your followers in the short time that I've been watching. Can tell you tell it as it is, and that's what people need, the hard truth. Appreciate you for checking out the channel. Agreed. I let it overpower my judgment. You are correct. Yeah, just don't do it any further, because there may be a decision that may be a more serious, tougher decision than that, and you don't want to let your excitement or whatever your emotion is at the time ultimately make that decision for you. You know what I mean? So it's business. You know what I'm saying? You gotta you have to, when you're dealing with business, you gotta deal with ambition, deal with passion, just not deal with emotion, man. Just don't do it. And I know it was your first go around, so I get it. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is now, man. All right, y'all. It has been fun, like always. I'm glad everybody that showed up. Won't be back on this Tuesday. We're gonna go into season 2 of the Mentors podcast in February. I'm planning on doing something really, really cool at the end of February. I ain't gonna say what it is because I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I'm planning on doing it, and if I do it, I'll do it, and then you guys will know. If I don't do it, then you won't know because I didn't do it. But I'm not gonna tell you what it is, because if I don't do it, I don't want you to hold me to it. But um, I'm gonna do season 2 starting in February. Um, I am working on some cool things that I will unveil at a later date. So I'll be back on Thursday with another show, another topic. If that's it, no more questions, I'm gonna get up out of here. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button on your way out. Make sure I got everybody. All right, peace out till next time, y'all.